Wow! Hello, hello. Good evening. I think I actually managed to start up every single thing we will need for the stream tonight. Please be proud of me, because this is what happens very rarely. Oh. Hello, 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 hello. It is once again Sunday. Flowers, the volume of bees. No, no. Is another French word I don't know how to pronounce. Volume of bees. Bees? Surely not. Really hope there's no bees in this one. There shouldn't be any bees, it's winter. Bees! Bye! No, no. There's only girls in this boarding school, no bees. No bees, only heartbroken girls. Only heartbroken girls who love to read. Oh, the heart is being broken. Thank you for the follow, welcome in. But yeah, because we last played this game on a Thursday, for some reason my mind was like, oh, we literally just played it, but it has been 2 days. Yeah, it's shock, horror, 3 days actually, I guess. It still feels like I literally just played it yesterday, which is weird. Because of the heart intact variety. You know me, met someone. Ah, thank you. The chomp is a personal favorite. I will say that the chomp is a personal favorite. It's so good. Yeah, we managed to get through chapter 1 last time. We got started in chapter 2, and chapter 2 will also have our first mystery. So I think we should definitely be able to get to that today. And everything else we will see afterwards. I wanted to look up how many chapters this game has. 6. 6 chapters. That's not too many actually. The more realistic one. Realistic. Aw, well, I'm glad you think so. Winter, the season of pullovers. We do love these girls, though. I hope these girls also get some love by the end of the game. Maybe even sometime in between, because, Jesus. Watching Sue... It is nice watching Sue actually grow as a person, like realizing that she is getting more comfortable with and actually making friends and stuff. Nice. The absolute backlash we had last time from her definitely getting triggered, and the trauma from her stepmother showing up again in full force is like, oh no, my poor Meow Meow. It's okay. It's okay. We can do it, I think. As long as she actually starts maybe hopefully reaching out to her friends sometime. That would be nice. But yeah, we stopped in the middle of everything because I was not sure how long the chapter would still go for. The game didn't feel like giving me a proper break, so we just took matters into our own hands. Right then. After checking to make sure there's no one else in the library, I opened up the almanac I smuggled out of Isnik. Smuggled? I think back on the conversations I had with Yatsushita Senpai over the course of the last year. Something she said to me in the spring stands out in particular.
ネリーと共に当時の3年生が一時に辞めてしまった理由を探ったんだ。
Oh yeah! That was never cleared up. It was something she told us after curiosity led us to search for Bloody Mary, one of the Academy's 7 mysteries. Having pinpointed this as the incident that led her to Shion Basquiat, I decided to follow the trail into the almanac.
イズニクで調べるわけにはいかない。
I can't focus on personal matters while everyone else around me busies themselves with council work, and I also don't want to arouse Ika-san's suspicions. That's why I've brought the almanac, which is supposed to stay within the walls of Iznik, out with me to my job at the library.
これだわ。
Yeah. Sue just became council president. She's already breaking all the rules. I love that for her. According to the records made by the president prior to Yatsushita Senpai, several students who were in the 3rd year at the time dropped out. Illegal smuggling, unlike legal smuggling. Oh yeah, by the way, I did end up overlaying the 2 sprites properly. And the actual, you know how I kept saying last time that the heads are different size? No, the heads are the same size. It's just her entire face and the eyes being slightly tilted more towards the one side than on the other sprite, which makes sense because her entire face is turned around more. So it's honestly, it's just my brain being like, these look different, but they're not that different. Yes, I did hear. And they also already apologized for it, and they were like, I'm going to hire an accountant from now on so this doesn't happen again anymore. And honestly, I'm just like, well, I guess that's the first time in my life I was happy that the announcement for some mangaka or artist or whatever being involved or getting arrested for something was just tax evasion. Because half the time, otherwise, it's just like, oh, the serious mangaka arrested for child. What? No. So I'm just like, okay, it's only tax evasion. Smuggle books, evade tax. It's okay, it's okay. I turn the page and the content shifts from descriptive notes to something more like a diary entry. It's the account of a student who undertook the Bloody Mary ritual. Bigeidu crime? Very true.
初めは一人の生徒が生遺物の絵画の中に亡霊を見たと騒いだ。そして次々に登場するものが現れた。
It's a very pretty Mary painting, though. I know I said that in the first game when it happened as well, but it is a very pretty painting. Maze, what do? You make sure the police doesn't get us. You're the lookout. I cast my mind back over the steps of the ritual to summon Bloody Mary, stand before the holy painting at 2 a.m., reflect the painting in a mirror, chant the name Bloody Mary 3 times. I remember doing the ritual together with Ika-san, the Sasaki twins, and Mayuri. The passage in the almanac about students having seen a ghost makes me think of Ringo-san. What if there's a secret hallway behind that building? And Ichigo-san said she heard a voice. Now, what she actually said at the time was... Oh. Raising my head toward the bat-like squeak that's coming from the direction of the library door, I see 2 familiar faces. Irika Yaigaki and... Ringo-san. Speak of the devil, the person I was just thinking of comes in behind Irika-san pushing a wheelchair. I'm surprised to see the 2 of them together.
ごきげんようですよ、スオちゃん。
Hi.
ごきげんよう、リンゴさん。
Hideka-san's gaze remains fixed on her book. Seeing that they're heading over to my desk, I quietly slide the almanac I was reading into a drawer before calling out to Hideka-san.
ごきげんよう、エリカさん。ちょっと待って。
What?
もう少しで男が拳銃でこめかみを撃ち抜きそうなんだ。
Are you reading? え？
随分と面白い本のようで、廊下で捕まったのですよ。
Inga-san happily informs me that Hideka-san ordered her to push her to the library since she didn't want to take her nose out of her book.
よし、いいぞ、死んだ。で、何の用だ？
I feel it though. I feel it. I have kind of mastered the ability to walk somewhere while reading. But yeah, right, good, dead. I feel it. Personally, I'm the type to I always want to read until the end of a chapter before I stop, which is all fine and good for books that have very short chapters. So you just can take a break frequently. It's not so fine for books where it's like, what's the last one I read where it was the case? I think the third entry of what's it called? Jeweler Richard, which is it's a light novel, and each chapter there is just its own sub-story. So there's only 5 chapters to the whole book, but also each chapter will take you like half an hour. And it's just like, oh, okay, I'll just finish this chapter. Yeah, nope. Some of your books don't even have chapters, yeah. I just hate stopping in the middle of absolutely nothing. Like, if there's at least a proper line break or something, okay, but eh.
エリカ大先生が図書室へ連れて行けと言ったのですよ。そうだった。なあ、白羽。この続編って置いてないか？
When I glance at the book in her hands, I do a double take in surprise. Irika-san scratches her head.
有名な作品すぎて逆に今まで手を出していなかったんだよ。
Oh.
爽やかイケメンが主人公ってのも好みじゃないしな。
Book.
渋いおじさんが主人公の方が好きなんですよね。エラリー・クイーンよりフィリップ・マーローの方が好きだ。
I can't help but giggle at the smug look on her face. A furrow appears between Irika-san's brows.
クリント・イーストウッド好きに笑われたくないぞ。で、今何を隠したんだ？
She flashes me a feline smile and I can't stop my gaze from dropping down to the desk drawer.
何も隠してなんかいないわ。それよりその本の続編だけど。
One chapter being 10 pages, next one suddenly 100. I feel it.
嘘つきのプロを騙そうなんて無駄だ。恥ずかしい本でも黙っててやるから見せてみろよ。
It is embarrassing.
年間を出すわけにはいかないし。
And reveal the almanac. Don't put your fucking text behind my chin, so. As I hesitate, Irika-san attempts to peer over the desk.
マジで恥ずかしい本なのか？
She flashes me a sly feline smile.
その普通の時代小説だけれど。
she's getting better at lying her way out of situations. So.
え？ちょっと恥ずかしいっていうか。マジか。白羽でもそんなものは。
Aye. Seeing Irika's face flush, I feel as though my reflexive lie to protect the almanac has resulted in something I'll never be able to take back.
別に誰にも言わないから大丈夫ですよ。お前、机の引き出しにしまったのって学年間ですよね。
Damn it, Dingo!
見たことがあります。
Shh. How would you say that? Just like that, she blows my cover.
エリカ先生も私としても持ち出し禁止なのを言いつけるなんてことしないですよ。
Hi, how are you? Deciding that there's not much point in continuing to hide it, I open the desk drawer and remove the almanac.
へえ、白羽もやるもんだな。持ち出し禁止なのは分かっているけど、でも内職をすることは誰でもあります。別に言いつけたりはしませんよ。
Of course not, she says a little indignantly.
こんな弱み人に渡せるかよ。私たちで胸に収めて白羽をいびる方が面白そうだ。
God damn it.
ダメですよ。冗談だよ。マジな顔をするな。で、生真面目なお前が持ち出すなんて、ただ仕事が忙しいからってわけじゃないだろ。それは以前八代先輩から聞いたことがある。学院年間は会長、不在の折は副会長が学院で起きた大きな行事、それに災い事を記すって。ここのところ大きなイベントや七不思議も起きてないですよね。だろ。だから年間を持ち出しているのはおかしい。書き込むことなんてないんだからな。一体何を調べているんだ？
Although she smiles around the question, I get the sense that neither she nor Ringo-san is going to back down until I give an answer.
正直に話してみたら。
That flashes by momentarily, but I know I can't. The truth of Agape is a secret I can share with anyone. And I certainly can't tell Irika-san, who looks up to Sister Basquiat, anything about Shio and Basquiat.
スオちゃん、私としては何があってもずっとスオちゃんの親友ですよ。
Aww.
リンゴさん、気持ちは一緒ですよね、エリカ先生。恥ずかしいセリフは却下だが、今さら何言われたって立ち位置なんて変えるかよ。黙っていられるとムカつくってのは確かだ。
Tears well up in my eyes and I feel a surge of heat in my chest. These two girls have declared themselves my friends.
ありがとう、リンゴさん、エリカさん。
You have been friends for a few months already.
名前呼び来やすいぞ。これは照れくさいから言っているだけですよ。うるさい。
The back and forth brings a smile to my face. Opening the almanac, I explain myself to them.
実は年間を調べていて少し気になったことがあったの。へえ、またゾロ七不思議じゃないよな。エリカさんは血まみれメアリーの七不思議は知っているかしら。春頃に話題になってたよな。確か。
She glances sidelong at Ringo-san.
また血まみれメアリーの儀式が流行りだしたってことか。
Putting a hand to her chin, she hazards a guess.
いえ、そうではなくて、以前私が血まみれメアリーを調べている時に八代先輩が話してくれたの。八代先輩が1年生の折に当時の3年生が血まみれメアリーの儀式を行って大勢辞めてしまったって。
Arms folded, Irika-san offers up a noise of interest. In contrast, Ringo-san makes a face like she's bitten into a lemon.
リンゴさんの前で八代先輩のことを話すなんて。
I'm immediately overcome with regret.
そういえばたくさん辞めたって謎は解いていませんでしたね。
Yeah, we kind of had other stuff happen in the first game that this was not relevant anymore.
春に実験はしましたけれど、その謎は解いてないです。なんというか、ただ怪異が見えただけで辞めるのも変ですし。
She contributes.
お嬢様学校ならありえそうな話だがね。だが、まあ面白い。面白い。面白いって。最近騒動が少なくてつまらなかったからな。八代先輩が話していたっていう大量に上級生が辞めたって話、私たちで追ってみようぜ。なあ、白羽。
Alanga. No true man will neglect his duty for the sake of love. Yeah. Oh, you guys are so boring. I'm gonna take matters into my own hands. Quote from the Wonderful Wizard of Oz, isn't it? I ask and she tells me I'm correct.
察しのいいお前のことだから今の言葉だけで理解できただろ。
You know, I think I said this when we played the third game as well, but every time, usually I was like, oh yeah, Wizard of Oz. Every single time. I still haven't read the original Wizard of Oz story. I also have not seen a single movie depicting it, nothing. I do, however, have one singular Otome game that plays on the Wizard of Oz characters that I never finished. Because, quite frankly, it's not that good of a game, but every time the Wizard of Oz gets mentioned, I have this itch to try my hand at that game again, even though I said many years ago I would never touch it again because it's just not good. The line is spoken by the character of the gardener. I don't even need to search my memories. I can already see the page in my mind's eye. I'm married to you too. Yeah! You know exactly what game I'm referring to. And then it occurs to me that we're missing the other member of our group, all of us having resolved to solve the mystery of the older students quitting the academy.
正解だよ。愛のためにじゃないが、仕事を放り出しやがった。真の男じゃない。
Was Mafia is the game I'm referring to. And according to Steam, the last time I ever actually played it was in 2019. And I think I'm allowed to say this, because I do have 12 hours on that. I have 12 hours on that game and I managed to get to like 1.5 routes. I think I'm allowed to say that I didn't like it. It has very, very nice artwork, but the game itself was just like, oh well.
リンゴさんは女の子だわ。分かってると思うが比喩表現だぞ。
Spinning her wheelchair to face me, she tells me Ling-san was snared by Sister Basquiat.
捕まったって。先だってバレエの試験があっただろ。あいつは受定系が苦手らしい。姉ともども補習だとさ。
So that's why she used that Wizard of Oz quote, I'm not understanding.
仕事を投げ出した。行けなくなった。バスキア教諭がつきっきりだ。さらには私の網艇も補習の監督を任されてる。
Grinning, she spreads her arms wide.
二人きり。お、私と二人きりは嫌か。そうじゃないわ。ただ久しぶりだなって。そうか。以前は私がエリカさんの部屋に本を運んだり、感想を言い合ったりしていたでしょ。そうだった。幸せな時代の幸せなおとぎ話。二人で朗読したり。やめてくれ。お前の朗読はいいが、私のは本意じゃない。
I don't like reading out loud either. I say playing a visual novel. She grimaces and I tell her she's good at it too.
朗読はラプンツェルの時だけで十分だ。私は聞き役だけでいい。残念。エリカさんの声、優しくてとても心地いいのに。
I'm only telling the truth, but for some reason she looks both annoyed and somehow satisfied.
こいつは本当に。何？なんでもない。ともかく。
She clears her throat, putting an end to this particular line of conversation. No, I don't like it because I didn't like it when we had to do it in school. Like whenever we would read a book in school and in class, because in class it was always like, okay, everyone gets to read a few lines and then it moves on to the next person. And just the time it takes to get through a singular chapter that way is so unnecessarily long. I remember one time we started a book in school, and the day we actually got the book, I was sick. So the next lesson, I was back and I got the book, and they were like, I don't know, maybe 2 chapters in. They didn't get very far, obviously, but they were like 2 chapters in, and I managed to catch up like those 2 chapters in the time that it took us to like get further in the book during our lesson, and then they would give us like I don't know, read like 1 full chapter for homework, and the next time we continue, blah blah blah. And it's like, it takes so long. It takes so fucking long to get through a book that way. Don't do that. I understand it's so people get better at reading, especially kids. It's so you actually properly pronounce everything, and you learn how to both like actually absorb what is in the text and also tell it to someone else, blah blah blah. But still, to me personally, even as a child, especially as a very conceited child, I was like, oh my god, you all take so long, I'm already finished with the thing. I can't help it. I can't help it.
とりあえず捜査開始といこうぜ。
Yes, let's. She flashes me her usual feline smile.
年中無休ってわけじゃないんだな。何が？
The Council of Nicaea, she adds as I go back to the almanac.
以前、八代先輩が言っていたんだよ。二階屋の会は年中無休だってね。
I nod, then close the almanac and stand up from the desk.
通例では常に誰かが詰めているということになっていたけれど、リッカさんがどんな職務だってお休みが必要だって進言したの。
改革派だ。
初めはずっと続けていたことを私たちの代で変えてもいいのかって意見が多かったけれど、
通話武器あたりが賛成して風向きが変わった。
When I ask her how she knew that, she scratches her head and tells me she just had an inkling.
しかし上級生に聞いても空振りだったな。
辞めていた理由を詳しく聞けなかった。
まあいちいち辞める理由を旧友へ話していくってのもなかなかないだろうから、正直期待していなかったけどな。
Using the tea utensils Vika-san had left in the evening, I set about brewing a pot of tea.
でも
She gave my mustache up there. True, true.
一つ引っかかることがある。
Poking my head curiously, I hand her a teacup. She blows on a hot tea to cool it.
同級生が七不思議に怯えて辞めるなんざ口に出しにくいことなのはわかるが、どうにも口が重すぎる。
それは私も感じたわ。
二階屋の会の会長様が訪ねてるってのに解せない態度だ。まあ面と向かって初めて白羽と話すんだ。見とれるのはわかるけどな。
I mean, sure, okay, she is the president, but she does not have the same social standing as Yuzuriya had. Yuzuriya being the council president, and just her entire way of being got her to pretty much everyone if she so wanted. Sue is not that type of person.
嫌だわ、エリカさんたらちょっと。
訪ねた相手が全員頬染めてるのに気づかないかね、普通。こっちの話だよ。3年生はともかく2年生まで口が重いってのはどういうわけだ。3年生は一つ上の先輩だから近しいってことで気を使ってるだけだろうが、2年生まで話したがらないのは意味がわからねえ。普通他人の不幸は蜜の味って噂話に花が咲くもんだろうが。
I'm about to argue back against that assertion when she shoves her now empty cup under my nose and I refill it.
エリカさん、紅茶よりコーヒーの方が好きだって言ってなかった？
If it's the only thing you're offering, she's gonna take it.
好きな味なんだよ。
Despite her acidic words, I find the way she blows across a cup very sweet and charming.
お前はどう思うんだよ。
私はやっぱり学院を辞めるということは繊細な たくない気持ちはわかる。
性善説。
でも相手をおもんばかってというより罰が悪い顔つきだったことは気になるわ。
だよな、私もそいつが気になった。子供が誤っておもちゃを壊してしまったのを隠してるような感じを受けたよ。
見たくないものをおもちゃ箱に隠している。
中に何が入っていると思う、ジョーンズ博士。
失われたアークでないことは確かだけど。
Indy referring to Indiana Jones, but the only reason I could understand that is because of the actual Japanese voice line. Oh.
何か悪意が潜んでそうだよな。アルカポネの金庫みたいに空なのは勘弁だけどよ。
I hope it's nothing horrible, but either way, if you can't dig up some information soon, we'll have nothing to go on. Distractedly, I take a sip of my tea.
おい、どうした？大丈夫か？やけどしたか？だったら保健室へ。
平気よ。思っていたより冷めてなくて驚いたの。だから保健室へは。
That's when an idea hits me. The nurse's office.
今までは上級生の方たちからお話を聞いていたけれど、今日夕方、学園のスタッフにも
I
話
highly
を
doubt
聞
the
いたらどうか
faculty
しら。
is gonna tell us anything, though.
そいつはいい。指導する立場上口が重いかもしれないが、どんなやつでも例外があるからな。
She drains the rest of her tea in one go.
二手に分かれて聞いて回ろう。放課後とはいえ時間も限られている。白羽は養護教諭を受け持ってくれ。
Do you think the school nurse is actually going to get a sprite, finally, in the fourth game? She gets referred to so often. One can know a man from his laugh, and if you like a man's laugh before you know anything of him, you may confidently say that he's a good man. Okay. Irika-san greets me with this quote when I join her in the gazebo where we'd arranged to meet, and I ask what it's from Fyodor Dostoevsky?
ロシア人は気の利いたことを言うよな。きっと長い冬の間に考えているんだな。
つまり色良い返事が聞けたのね。
逆だよ。笑ってなんかいなかった。露骨な迷惑顔だったってことさ。お前は？
私も同じだわ。
だよな。
She sighs deeply, and I suddenly feel awful for dragging her into this when it's something I should really be doing on my own.
ごめんなさい。
あ？
エリカさんの頭を悩ませてしまって、あとは私一人で。
つまんねえこと言うなよ。
Rose followed briefly before she breaks into a smile and wheels her chair over to me.
私たちみたいなやつにとって面倒事は楽しみの一つだろ。
エリカさん。
名前呼びになってるぞ。そうだな。心苦しいって言うなら少し頭を休ませてくれ。
Yeah. I'm finally not bored. Don't be sorry.
膝枕だよ。
Oh. She gestures towards my thighs.
なんて冗談。
エリカさんが望むのならどうぞ。
Aha! When I spread my arms wide, she blinks at me in surprise. Then an even deeper furrow appears across her brow. I cock my head at her.
どうしたの？
どうしたのって、お前。
You were the one that suggested it.
私も祖父によくしてもらったわ。どうぞ。
She appears to chew it over for a moment, then
それじゃ、お願いするかな。
she says, Yeah, do I gotta say, yeah! Aww.
なんていうか、夢の中の情景を思い出す。
Murmuring that I'm glad to hear that, I gaze down into her face. Despite the icy chill in the air, her cheeks are flushed and her body so hot it feels almost feverish. Her little head resting on my thighs is so warm and light, it's like having a cat curled up on my lap.
重くないか。
全然。
I'm reminded of the silver lighter my grandfather had and the pleasant weight of it in my hand, neither too heavy nor too light.
なあ、白 じっと見つめられていると少し気恥ずかしいんだが。
I realize I've been staring down at her upturned face, taking in her deep green eyes, smooth skin, and pale lips. As soon as the words slip out, my face burns with embarrassment.
やめろ。お前からお世辞を言われるのはきつい。
Erika-san seems to feel equally as awkward.
お世辞なんかじゃないわ。とても綺麗。高さ。
On the verge of making a comment about her amitié partner, I hesitate, then gently stroke her hair.
おい。
こうしてもらうと気持ちいいでしょ。
そりゃそうだが。
Erika-san's hair sticks out like the spikes of the hedgehog in keeping with her personality. Yet its silky softness makes me like... What? Yet its silky softness makes me... like I'm petting a cat. Okay. Well...
こうしてもらうと気持ちいいって、高坂にでもしてもらったかよ。
まゆりにもしてもらったことはないわ。祖父にしてもらっただけ。膝枕をするのは初めてよ。
そうか、初めてか。
Eyes narrow blissfully as she basks in the sensations, just as I had done with my grandfather.
私、エリカさんの髪好き。
お前は他人の弱点を上手についてくれよな。私は私の髪が嫌いだよ。
どうして？
どうしてって、癖っ気だし、伸ばすとメデューサみたくなる。ダサいだろ。
Cut it short enough?
そんなことない。きっと長い髪も似合うし、かっこいいと思うわ。
She opens her eyes, a glimmer of light flashing in the depths.
私は三女だって話しただろう。長女は宿毛矯正してストレートにしていたが、次女は気にしないでそのまま伸ばしていた。あれはあれで。
I said it didn't look too bad, she admits in a barely audible murmur.
そうでしょ。今度伸ばしてみたらいいわ。
玉江姉さんみたくはならない気がする。私の方が癖が強い気がするんだよな。
たまえ、なんていうか、片上寮長を思い出すわ。
Tamaki Katabami. Atop my knees, Erika-san stifles laughter.
確かに名前は似ているが、次女と寮長では真逆だよ。見た目は二人ともやや中性的だが。
性格が違う？
ああ、片上寮長はああ見えて乙女なところがあるだろ。うちの次女は見た目通り男性的な性格でさ、気にしなさすぎてよく長女に叱られてたよ。
Erika-san rarely talks about her family, so I'm delighted that she's opening up to me now.
そういえば、養護教諭にはお前が話を聞きに行ったんだったよな。何かめぼしい情報あった？
I convey my conversation with the nurse as accurately as I can.
そうか。細かな描写が増えただけで筋に変わりはないか。
最後にこう言ったわ。学園にとって大きな損失だったって。
So, can you speak up for once in your life? I can barely hear you. We both fall silent as we mull it over. I continue gently stroking her hair as though trying to help the gears in her brain turn more smoothly. After feeling that I've overlooked something important buried in what I just told her.
ごめんなさい。髪に指が絡まってしまって。
いや、今のでひらめいた。当時の3年生が大量に辞めたのを八代先輩が捜査をした。
ええ。
ミステリアスな事件だ。そして七不思議が関連している。こんな面白い事件、八代先輩の相方が放っておくと思うか？
My mental album of memories flips open and I pick up the thread of her thoughts.
そうだった。八代先輩はこう言ったわ。はじめは八代先輩が調べていたって。それで興味を惹かれて小見門先輩も加わったって。
八代先輩のアミティエはもういない。だけど小見門先輩のアミティエはまだ学院にいるよな。
She snaps her fingers and I nod, stroking her hair with even more affection.
小見門先輩のアミティエ、萩原先輩にお話を聞きに行きましょう。
Does she get a spray? At first she's as reticent as the other upperclassmen. Oh, me? You mean the one she ran away with? However...
そうね。
Oh,
コ
she
ミカドさんも
does!
八代さんもあなたには目をかけていたものね。
No way! We actually get some side characters who get sprites and voices? What the fuck? After listening to our persuasive pleas, Hagibara-senpai sits down on the bed and looks up at us as though from the bottom of a riverbed, gazing at the shadows of the fish swimming by. Then...
私が知っていることは何でも話すわ。
Oh, he just set up. No, I don't think so. Oh, pretty. She offers. Using the coffee grinder Komikata-senpai left behind, she prepares fresh coffee for the two of us, then settles in to tell us everything she heard from my Amity partner about the incident.
話を聞くと、どちらかというと八代先輩よりもコミカド先輩の方が事件に対して興味を持っていたみたいですね。八代さんは当時の3年生が一時に辞めたことを調べていたの。それにオカルト好きのコミカドさんが加わって、血まみれメアリーの儀式が関わっていることを突き止めたのよ。
She pulls a sour face as she utters the name, and Irika-san and I exchange a look.
では八代先輩に付き合う形でコミカド先輩も事件を調べ始めたのですね。
At first, she responds, her tone laden with foreshadowing.
血まみれメアリーの儀式をしたせいで3年生が辞めたという噂が出てしばらくした後、八代さんの姉貴へも学院を去ったの。
I can see why you would think so. But yeah, even if you didn't mind the sound of a bell yourself, I think in the school someone would have asked her to stop at some point, because imagine you go anywhere and it says bing, 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 bing.
八代先輩のアミティエはいなかったものな。
それは血まみれメアリーの儀式を八代先輩のアミティエも行っていたからやめてしまった。
Like, I think
本気になって探して。
I don't think I could handle being in the same classroom as someone who just just does a I don't know, imagine she raises her hand and she gets picked up and in the classroom it's just bing, bing. Or any slight movement, I would go crazy. And apparently I also put the little bell I had around here somewhere else. I can't find it. Where is it? Oh. I wanted to imitate the sound it would make, but I do not know where I put it. Too bad. Violent read. Thinking that this could be our lead, I lean forward eagerly, but she shakes her head. I look at her questioningly. Despite saying that she'd tell us everything, Hagibara-senpai suddenly clams up just like the other upperclassmen, her expression grim.
八代先輩のアミティエが辞めたという話が非すべきことではないの。
I feel like I'm on the verge of being handed a key piece of the puzzle. What is making her, all of them, so reluctant to speak? A seed of unease plants itself in my stomach.
萩原先輩、私を信用しなくても構いませんが、白羽は八代先輩から二階屋の会の会長を任されたやつです。信用に値するやつだ。そうね、そうよね。それに解決した話だし。
She sounds like she's trying to convince herself as she locks her gaze on mine.
これは恥ずべきことなのだけど。
Scandalous! Seed of unease in my stomach starts to buzz.
血まみれメアリー事件で辞めていった3年生たちは儀式を無理やりやらされたという噂が広がったの。
Okay, that was scary. That was genuinely. Don't do that when I just said that. I hear a woman's laughter in my ear.
無理やり。ええ、それで
儀式を行わせた首謀者がコミカドさんだっていう噂が流れたのよ。コミカド先輩が彼女が儀式を行わせたことで結果的に3年生たちを辞めさせたのではないか。
be cursed, please. Can't wrap my head around what she's saying. And there she is. Not in my mind, but right before my eyes.
言ったでしょ、スオン。
It's like the day when I was left at my grandfather's house. I can see the ghost of my stepmother turning toward me, her upper lip contorted as she sneers.
人は醜いものだと。
The only ugly one here is you. Her scarlet lipstick and the fleshy inside of her mouth shine as red as blood as she laughs, and I look down at the ground, feeling sick to my stomach. We don't like that woman. Not at all. Oh, bless you.
くそ、誰か私の噂話でもしてんのかな。
なんだかおじさんみたいですね。
ひっそり戻ってくるな。ヒッチコックの鳥じゃないんだぞ。
あの鳥さんの映画面白かったですよね。約束の時間少し過ぎてしまったみたいですね。
She apologizes to me, but I wave her off, telling her it's fine.
で、お前の方は血まみれメアリー事件で何か新しい情報はあったか。
The other day we learned something new from Hagibara-senpai. She told us about the rumor that Kumikata-senpai forced the other girls to take part in the Bloody Mary ritual, and in doing so, essentially drove them to quit the academy. It wasn't something I wanted getting out, but I wanted to at least share the information between the three of us. After all, it would be strange for me to refuse after saying we could all investigate together. More than that, I wanted to share the discordant feelings the news had triggered in me and talk them through with someone else. I cannot sleep tonight. With a few birds from Chidori? Hopefully not.
そうちゃん。あ、ごめんなさい。ぼーっとしてしまって。
お前って時々胡蝶の夢みたいな状態になるよな。
Ahu?
故障。
お前らが持ってるスパイスボトルじゃねえよ。
ダメですね。
Ringo-san shakes her head, her brow furrowed.
詳しく知っている風の先輩にはコミカド先輩が疑われた旨のことを使いカマをかけて聞き出そうとしても口を閉ざしてしまって。
そうか。こっちは学院の教諭やスタッフにそれとなく話を聞いてお前のやったように水を向けてもみたんだが。
She raises her arms in the air.
お手上げですか。
空振りだよ。それにコミカド先輩が疑われてたってのも周知の事実なのか限定された中でのことなのか萩原先輩の話では曖昧だ。私たちが藪をつついて蛇を出すわけにはいかないからな。
For the sake of Kumikado-senpai's reputation, we decided to bring up her potential role in the Bloody Mary incident only with those who had to know about it already.
2年生の先輩たちの方も今まで得ていた情報より目新しいものはなかったわ。
めぼしい情報はなかったが一応情報の共有をしておこう。さまつでも何か発見があるかもしれないからな。
Nodding, I go on to tell them what I heard. The general details were essentially the same, but with a few slight embellishments.
私としての聞き出したお話はこんな感じです。
I go over everything meticulously in my head as she finishes up her own account. Somehow it felt like listening to someone recount a dream they once had.
で、どうする？
どうすると？
血まみれメアリー事件の調査をこれでしまいにしようかってことだよ。
それはどういう？
お前だって分かってるだろ。はじめは大量に生徒が辞めたという事件の謎を解明すべく調べていた。言っちゃ悪いが遊び半分にだ。だが調べていくうちに笑えない話になってきた。こいつはもしかしたら掘り起こしちゃまずい代物だったんじゃないか。
She shoots us both meaningful looks.
エリカさんの言っていることもわかる。
She's asking us to consider whether Yatsushiro Senpai's way of resolving the case had been to suppress the truth, as we ourselves have done before. In that case, we'd only be poking the hornet's nest. And even if the rumor simply fizzled out for lack of credibility, bringing it up again will do nothing but sully Komikado-san's Senpai's reputation.
確かに新たに掘り起こしたところで意味がないみたいですね。
白羽。
そうね。
Yeah, we've discovered something that's bigger than all of us. But the whole, oh my god, there's secrets and everything to find out here. That has been the case for all games so far. So I don't really want to stop. I definitely want to know why, especially because it's a case that has been there since the first game and never been resolved. After a moment's hesitation, I voiced my agreement. She looks relieved to hear it. My friend might be a pessimist, but I know that she's also very kind and caring.
まあ、面白い話だったが、これでしまいにしようぜ。
She says with a scratch of her head. Fingers and nods looking equally relieved.
お腹も空きましたし、寄宿舎へ戻りますか。
夕げの前に熱いコーヒーが飲みたい。風にはコーヒーが一番だ。
聞いたことないですよ。
Because it's not true.
八代先輩が提唱し、私が広めた。
She didn't even like coffee. Watching the two of them joke around, I find myself craving neither coffee nor any other form of relief.
シオンバスキアにつながるかもしれないのだから、諦めるわけにはいかない。
I watched Inga-san take hold of the handles of Erika-san's wheelchair, and I resolved to myself that I'll step into Yatsushita-senpai's shoes to try to see how she handled the case herself. Guilt. That's what I feel regarding my Amichi partner. She presses gently on my leg.
この角度はどう？痛くない？
What?
平気よ。そんなに大げさにしなくても大丈夫。少し転んだだけなのだもの。
I still don't understand why she doesn't wear her glasses for the ballet lessons. As we know, her eyesight is that bad. She doesn't actually see anything properly. So why the hell would you take them off for a sport?
ダメ。足をくじいていたらどうするの？初めは平気でも放っておくと悪化するかもしれないでしょ。
For the sake of Komikado-senpai's honor, my two fellow investigators have taken a step back from the mystery of the 7 third years and the Bloody Mary incident. They can't turn my back on the case, not when it might provide a clue to the question of Shion Bastian.
やっぱり痛いんでしょ。
Thank you for the pasta chat.
そんなことないわ。嘘。だって眉がギュッとなって痛いってお顔していたじゃない。
My inner turmoil must have shown through outwardly.
すみませんダリア先生。スオさんが足をひねったみたいなので保健室に行ってもよろしいでしょうか。
What if it's for every single time? To be fair, Erika-san and sprained ankles were a thing previously in the games. So I think her being like, what if it's sprained, is actually for once justified. But I feel like these people run to the nurse's office too early. It's just like, oh god, you sneezed? Are you getting a cold? You need to go immediately. Like, oh my goodness, it is winter. You do sneeze even without being sick sometimes. Imagine that.
それはいけません。では保健医の方を。私の試験は終えましたので、私が保健室へ連れて行きます。
She asks me whether I can stand and I get to my feet.
まずは着替えてから行きましょう。この姿で保健室へ向かったら風邪をひいてしまうものね。
Nika-san takes me by the hand. I feel terrible for keeping secrets from my tea partner who clearly cares so deeply for me. The aspect of my stepmother is always there to mock me whenever I feel negative emotions. When I lift my gaze, there she is in the mirror laughing at me.
やめて。
Lowering my eyes again, I let my tea partner help me to the changing room, the woman's laughter ringing in my ears all the way. Actually, you know what you need? You need therapy, Sue. I know I said this in the first game and then it never really came up again because you weren't the main character anymore, but you actually need therapy. All through classes and even during my ballet exam, I was unable to stop thinking about the class. Even when my distraction caused me to trip and fall, I still couldn't get it out of my head. My obvious preoccupation has caused my tea partner to worry about me.
ひどい怪我でなくてよかった。軽い捻挫だって言うし。
It's only a mild sprain, but it's still a sprain. She thought that her glasses would fall off. She wouldn't be able to find them. I mean, yes, the general fear when wearing glasses while doing any kind of sport is that you would lose them during the sport. But for something like ballet, I think it would be a little more important to actually be able to see where you are, especially when you're in a room with like 10 other or 15 other kids who are doing the same movement as you. Like for example, when I go swimming, I do take off my glasses because, well, I cannot see underwater with them. But also, I try to keep away from any humanoid shape possible unless I'm like directly with friends and family, like right next to them, so they would tell me, hey, be careful, there's someone there, because I cannot see. If I take off my glasses, everything just becomes a giant blur. So swimming, for example, when they're like other people would be able to tell like someone's getting closer to them or whatever, I can maybe see the blurry form of someone where my brain will tell me, yeah, I think that is a human being coming closer to you. But that's it. That is not I cannot recommend that. But also I don't go swimming often enough that I would bother trying to find a proper glasses for swimming, whatever. But I'm just thinking now, do figure skaters wear glasses? Have I ever seen someone figure skating with glasses? Because I don't think they would be able to keep them on. Like, when you jump and do all of those funny spins, you would be moving too fast for glasses to stay on. I wonder what people do there. Probably contact lenses, I'm guessing. Need to see anything during ballet practice? It's like, oh man, she always looks so mad. Yeah, no, she just actually needs to put on her fucking glasses. She's just doing everything to not wear her glasses and straining her eyes and going, I can't see. Not recommended. Don't do that. I force a smile to my face to compensate. Nika-san's braids bristle as she wags a finger at me.
今は平気でも
Ooh,
急
new
に腫れて
sprite.
くることもあるんだから。湿布は貼ってもらったけれど、今日明日はおとなしくしていること。そうね。
Interesting. I look down. Her kindness makes me feel all mushy on the inside.
それと、さっき手をつないだ時に思ったのだけど。
I wonder what the decision here was. Now we know at least 2 sprites, aside from completely new characters who just got a full CG that they're using as a little sprite thing down there as well. But Nika has 1 new sprite, Sue has 1 new sprite. I wonder if everyone else also gets like 1. When I ask her what it was, she takes my hand in hers again and runs her fingers over my skin as softly as she might a baby's.
やっぱり少し荒れているわ。朝食当番を終えてからお手入れしていなかったのね。
She asked me whether I was washing the vegetables, and with a shudder, I remember the freezing water biting through my fingers. Then she pulls a small blue tin from my pocket.
こっちも放っておくとまずいものね。
Opening the tin, she lightly pats some cream into her own hands and then clasps mine. Ooh!
ハンドクリームよ。
My métier partner's fingers glide gently over my skin. The slender digits slide up my palm into the openings between my fingers and down, massaging the cream in. While it makes me feel a little awkward, it's also very reassuring.
せっかく綺麗な手をしているのだから、きちんとお手入れをしなくてはダメよ。私なんて。いちごさんが聞いたら怒りそうだわ。指が短いって言っていたし。指が長くて繊細で本当に綺麗。ピアノを弾いているとみんな同じようになるのかしら。
Something. I heard that many years ago, that if you do grow up, like while you're growing up and you're playing piano, that it does change how your hands grow. At least to an extent. I wonder if that's actually true though. She intertwines her fingers with mine in a gesture of intimacy. It makes me feel both shy and comforted at the same time. My hand is soft and warm and filled with the affection a mother might have for her own child.
唯一母に褒められたことだわ。
Oh.
ごめんなさい。話したくないことよね。
At first she complimented my long fingers, but after the onset of her illness...
いいの。もう乗り越えたことだわ。
Are you? I reminded that I'm able to play piano again now, and Dika-san smiles. Dismissing the faint presence of my stepmother, I smile back.
ねえ、スオさん。何を思い悩んでいるの？
Soft question immediately dispels the pleasant mood. Thick silence fills the air between us like jello.
何も隠してなんかいないわ。
Yeah, that's a fucking lie. I managed to force the words out to break the silence, but Dika-san quickly hits back, telling me she knows I'm lying.
私はスオさんのアミティエなのよ。この学院の誰よりもあなたを見ているの。少し前からエリカさんやリンゴさんとも会っていたでしょ。
Yeah, we're friends.
それは、ええ、何かわからない。でもスオさんが隠していることで胸を痛めているのだけはわかるわ。
The feelings are conveyed clearly in the way she grips my hand. Again, the flame that smolders my chest is lit, and I have the desire to tell her everything.
でもそれはダメだ。
I can't. It's as Shiro-senpai had declared the person I was seeking a snake. I can't turn Dika-san into something that may be dangerous.
お願い。私たちはアミティエでしょ。私はスオさんを無二の親友だと思っているの。
I see pain written into her features, the same pain I myself have experienced. And so I...
リッカさんへ隠していたことがあるの。
Oh!
やっぱりエリカさんやリンゴさんへ手伝ってもらったのは成り行きもあるけれど、下世話だとリッカさんに怒られるのではないかと思ったからなの。
She tilts her head at me dubiously.
八代先輩がかつて調べていた事件よ。
Just like I did with Erika-san and Dingo-san, I tell her about the Bloody Mary incident, leaving out anything that might connect it to Shio and Basquiat. In other words, you thought I might be angry that you were digging into a past incident for fun, she asked.
ええ。
After I finish explaining everything we know about the Bloody Mary incident, my amitié partner pouts and fiddles with her braids.
まあ、立場上は怒らなくてはいけないかもしれないけれど、私ってそんなに融通が利かないように見える？
I shake my head.
私たちがここに来る前に起こった血まみれメアリー事件。生徒が大量に辞めた原因を作った犯人がコミカド先輩と思われている。だからエリカさんたちは手を引いたの。この事件を調べることで消えていた噂を、コミカド先輩の名を怪我してしまうのではないかって。
A strange expression flits across Rika-san's face, a cross between a smile and a glare of suspicion.
だからもうこ この件からは手を引くことになって。
でもスオさんは手を引く気はないのでしょ？
No.
手を引くならあんな心ここにあらずな態度にはならないわよ。エ
Whatever
リカさん
makes
た
you
ちは
think
捜査を打ち切っても
calm.
スオさんはこの謎を解きたいのよね。
I hesitate, unsure whether or not I should confirm his suspicions, but the next instant, Dika-san flashes me a warm smile.
スオさんが捜査をするなら私も協力するわ。
だってコミカド先輩の
ヤブをつついて蛇を出すってことになったら大変だって考えているんでしょ？でもそれは見当外れな考え方だわ。
She quickly dismisses our foremost worry.
だって考えたらわかることじゃない。コミカド先輩が人を陥れる真似なんてできるはずがないわ。噂が流れていたのならそれは根も葉もない流言よ。
She has a point.
根拠のない噂。
八代先輩が調べていたっていうのもコミカド先輩に悪い噂が流れていたからじゃないかしら。もし噂が立ち消えたものだとしたら
It'll make things even better if we can restore her honor, she says, clapping her hands together.
確かにそうよね。本当だわ。
Can't blow the cover, there's no cover.
でしょ？
The way she smiles at me reminds me of when we first met. How many times have I been buoyed by her kindness?
ありがとう。リカさん。
Boy?
それは私を事件を解く相棒として認めてくれたってことよね。
相棒! She puffs her chest out and I nod.
それじゃ授業が終わったら早速行動しましょう。まずは聞き込みよ。
でも上級生の方々や先生方にもお話は聞いたわ。
相棒! Stroking her face, she tells me not to worry.
2回の2回副会長の実力を見せてあげるわ。
Okay, I can wink. Erika-san told me that she would bring her informant to meet me after class, but...
ちょっと遅いわね。
Oh. I'm waiting in Isnik. In the meantime, I'm preparing some tea for the person who will supposedly tell us further details about the Bloody Mary incident. Although we're a self-governing student body, that doesn't mean we're allowed to play with fire unsupervised. I had someone heat up some water for me in the cooking club and brought it over in a thermos.
冷めてしまうかも。
Reflecting that it's about the right time, I add 3 heaps of tea leaves to the pot and pour the hot water over to brew them. They're large leaves, so it should take about 3 to 4 minutes for the beverage to brew.
お待たせ。さすがに廊下は冷えるわね。温かい紅茶が。紅茶用意してくれていたのね。
ええ、お話ししていただくのだし、あと私が焼いたクッキーなのだけど。
スオーさんが入れてくれた紅茶にお手製のクッキー。
Clasping her hands together, she strikes a pose like she's giving praise to God himself. Behind her, a girl hovers in a corridor as though unsure whether or not she should enter the room. I hurriedly invite her in.
あなたは
スオーさんも知っているわよね。2年生の岡間瑞希さん。合唱部でピアノを担当なさっている方よ。
Why are her eyes so far on that side? I have one Japanese listening subtitle that says homie. Really? No! Really? Homie. I've seen the word Ivo used many times, but I think that's the first time I have ever seen homie used as the English subtitle. No, I believe you. But why? Of course I know Hokama-san. She did a lot for me in spring at the Feast of the Assumption. Hokama-san is even smaller than the Sasagi twins, and her tiny frame is almost entirely hidden as she cowers behind Rika-san.
岡間先輩は無口で人見知りなの。だから気を悪くしないであげて。
そう。
When she helped me with the piano in spring, she didn't strike me as having any particular problems communicating.
岡間先輩は
ピアノに触れている間は平気なの。
It strikes me that she's the opposite of me, although I was supposed to have overcome those issues. Hearing my stepmother's vicious voice in my ear, I shake my head slightly.
スオさん？いえ、なんでもないわ。それではお話を聞かせていただけるかしら。
The information Hokama-senpai tells us contains several hints.
ありがとうございます、ほかま先輩。
Gives it a little nod, clasping her mug in both hands and blowing on the hot tea before drinking deeply. She must be thirsty after talking so much.
美味しいですか？こっちのクッキーもどうぞ。どっちもスオさんが作ってくれたんですよ。
For a brief second, her gaze flicks to mine. Then she looks down, her cheeks flush. Then she leans over to whisper into Dika-san's ear as she was doing before.
とても美味しいって。ありがとうっておっしゃっているわ。
Totally homies for each other. No! The word homie doesn't have a romantic implication, though. Naturally. I'm glad to hear that she likes them, but...
リカさんを介してしかお話ししてくれないなんて。
It seems she's so painfully shy she's unable to speak with anyone unless it's while playing the piano or through someone she truly trusts. Among the second-year students, that was Yatsushiro-senpai and Komikado-senpai, but now that they've both left the academy...
リカさんって本当にすごいわ。え？いえ、私には無理だなってこと。
Mika-san is the only friend she has left who she can communicate with without a piano between them. Apparently it took a lot of effort on Mika-san's part to get the painfully shy girl to speak with her.
ツワブキさんのことといい、本当だったらリカさんが会長になるべきだわ。
Then we all kiss our homies goodnight in a completely romantic way. Yeah, as long as you have your socks on, sure. I feel this keenly.
はい。はい。それでスオさん、聞きたいことはこれだけでしょうかってほかま先輩がおっしゃっているのだけれど。すみません。
I go over everything I've learned from her. The general gist was the same, however I've gleaned several new pieces of information. Until now it was unclear whether the rumors about Komikado-senpai arose before or after the students dropped out. Thanks to Hokama-senpai, we now had confirmation that it was after. Next I've learned that the rumors appeared abruptly and spread quickly. Additionally, the rumor started around the same time that Komikado-senpai was standing for election to the Council of Nikaya. This in turn led to rumors that they were being spread by an opponent. For now, I didn't think to consider the timing.
ニカイアの会の選挙を控えていた時に起きた事件。
Which means it was the end of last year. Now we're into the new year now, so that makes it the year before last.
ごめんなさい。あとはコミカド先輩にかかった疑いというのはどういった経緯で解けたのですか？
Hokama-senpai nods, then cups her small hand to Rika-san's ear and starts to whisper secretively. However, the story is longer and more complicated than I was expecting, and even after multiple back and forths, I still don't really know what she's trying to say.
直接お話しすることは。ほかま先輩、スオさんはとっても優しくていい人ですから、私にするようにお話ししても大丈夫ですよ。花火さんと同じ。初めて声を聞いたけれど、かわいい声。合唱部なのだものね。
After staring intently into my face for a moment, Hokama-senpai gives a hesitant nod.
わかった。頑張る。
Smiling, Rika-san pours a fresh cup of tea.
少し複雑な、込み入ったお話になるけれど、いい？
Yeah, don't worry, I have time.
はい、もちろんです。まずコミカドさんが当時の3年生へ無理やり血まみれメアリーの儀式をやらせたということだけれど、実は誤解だって後になって分かったの。どういうことですか？そもそも無理やり儀式を強要させるのは無理があるんじゃないかって。あの時はまだコミカドさんもニカイアの会の副会長ではなかったし。
Makes sense.
そんな権限もない。同じ部でもないから儀式に向かわせるように仕向けるのも難しいだろうって。
She's saying makes sense. A nasty rumor, after all, is just that, a rumor. Anyone who thought about it would quickly conclude that it didn't gel at all with Komikado-senpai's personality.
それで噂は完全に断ち消えたのですか？
噂話も下火になった頃、また新しくコミカドさんが弱みを握っていた3年生を辞めさせたという噂が広がったの。
そんな、一体どうして？
辞めていった3年生の部屋にコミカドさんが書いたという脅迫文が見つかったって話が出回ったの。
そんなことは聞き込みでは誰も話してはくれなかった。
Then again, it was information that would only further besmirch Komikado-senpai's reputation. Of course, they would be reluctant to bring it up unprompted.
それで、その状況はどう収まったのですか？
確かに出されていた脅迫文はコミカドさんの筆跡だったのだけど、八代さんが小文字の A の書き方が違うとカンパしたの。
それだけでは収まらなかった。
She nods and grimaces.
どうされたのですか？
あの時のことを思い出して。
あの時の？
After closing her eyes for a moment to dig back through her memory, she starts to speak.
八代さんはコミカドさんの疑いを晴らすと言って、噂に飛びついていた人や各部の部長や主だった人を連れて。
その言い方ですと、他の先輩も？
ええ。怖いことが苦手だから本当は嫌だったのだけど、どうしてもって。
私も怖いものが苦手だから気持ちわかります。
We know, Rika. Okama-san offers her a faint smile. She really seems able to let down her barriers around her.
寄宿舎を抜け出して夜中の2時に生物の絵画の前に立ち、みんなで儀式を執り行ったわ。
A small hand clutches at Rika-chan's sleeve. She must have seen something like we did, something supernatural.
絵画の中のマリア様の表情が変わって。
大丈夫ですよ。そんなに細かいところまで思い出さなくていいんです。
She gently takes hold of her hand, reassuring her again that she's okay. I can't bring myself to force her to add more details, so I continue on her behalf.
八代先輩はその怪異を見せた上で、ふざけ半分の3年生はこの恐ろしい現象を見てしまった。だからやめる判断をしてしまっても仕方がないと告げたわけですね。
She nods, her mouth set in a grim line. Rika-san keeps a firm hold on her hand.
その後で用意してあった辞めた3年生からの手紙をみんなに見せて、コミカドさんに強制されたわけでないと証明したの。
最初に手紙を見せても半信半疑な者は小さな疑念を抱く。ありがとうございました、ほかま先輩。怖い体験を話させてしまって。いいえ、そんなこと。
After watching their congenial exchange for a moment, I offer my own thanks too.
本当にありがとうございました。それではこれで。
Letting my tea partner off, I reveal that I have one more favor to ask.
写真よ。八代先輩のアミティアが写った写真。
A photo? Okama-senpai nods and hands the photo directly to me. Oh! It looks to be a photo from the event at the Feast of the Assumption at a pop-up cafe run by either the choir club or the current first-year students.
わあ、この給仕をしているのってほかま先輩ですよね。
Flashing, Okama-senpai points to another student in the photograph.
この方が八代先輩のアミティエだった
Pretty.
秋津しおりさんなのですか？
ええ、彼女が秋津さん。
I look over the girl with the bow of her apron askew.
この人が1年生でただ一人
Shiro-senpai's MT partner left the academy hot on the heels of the third-year student.
はい。そうなのですか？どうしたの？秋津さんは八代先輩のことが好きで同じ部に入部したのだって。
She has the dead mom haircut though, with her hair to one side. I empathize with wanting to be in the same club as a friend. I ask whether everyone else was also aware of her reasons.
なんと言えばいいのかしら。公然の秘密みたいな。そうだったのですか。
I imagine Yatsushiro-senpai's room after her MT partner was gone. In the frosty chill of early winter, it would seem so much bigger than before. Why had Yatsushiro-senpai felt left alone in that room? As I stare at the photo, Hokama-senpai flicks a glance toward me, then, as though she's remembering something, she turns to whisper to Dika-san.
そうなのですか。スオさんと似ていますね。リッカさん？この時、たまたま訪れていた烏森教諭が秋津先輩にエプロンを結んであげていたのを思い出したそうよ。
Is Karasumori? I don't recognize the name. Is she no longer working at the academy?
そうなの。
My gaze drops to the photo again. Something feels off.
お話ありがとうございました。この写真ですが、少しの間お預かりしてもよろしいでしょうか。
Cheeks flush, she nods from behind Dika-san's back. I thank her again.
はい。どういたしましてですって。お話は終わったし、お茶会にしましょうか。
She tells us she has some special tea she's been saving for just such an occasion, and I teasingly tell her I prefer coffee. Coffee, tea, water. I prefer water. I'm back in our room after returning from evening. Thanking my MT partner, I accept a cup from her, and she smiles and tells me that I'm welcome. How much tea do you drink in a day, girl? Jesus.
それでどうだったかしら。他間先輩のお話から謎が解けそう？完全とはまだ。でも八代先輩が小見門先輩を守るために
Flower, I drink
解決をした
water.
ことが分かったわ。かりそめって血まみれメアリーの儀式をして怪異を見たからじゃないの？確かに辞めた3年生はそうだったかもしれない。でも小見門先輩が出したという脅迫文の謎が残るわ。
With a braid, she nods to herself.
つまり3年生が辞めたのを利用して小見門先輩を陥れようとした真犯人がいるってことよね。岡間先輩のお話ではそのことには触れられていなかった。おそらく八代先輩は悪ノリということで済ませたのでしょうね。
However, it's hard to imagine her simply standing by while people spoke ill of Komikado-senpai.
対外的には怪異で型をつけて、スオさんは八代先輩が真犯人と対峙したと思っているのね。
That's exactly what I think, and while I have no proof of this, I also believe that the culprit could be connected to Shion Basquiat. I dip my cup back and drink, the strong, astringent taste of tea's flavor with a hint of irony.
事件の際、小見門先輩は選挙を控えていたと言っていたわ。評判を落として得をするのは対立候補よね。
Dika-san stands up and goes over to her desk where she rummages through a drawer. Then she returns with an almanac in hand.
やっぱりそうだ
I
わ。
thought we were not supposed to
一度聞いた
take
覚え
the
があったのよ。
almanacs out of his sneak.
小見門先輩と競っていたのは前の初期だった草部先輩よ。
Thank you for the pad. And diary time.
部屋に持ち込んでいたの？ごめんなさい。スオさんが年間を読んでいて自分も真似しようとつい。
Yeah, Sue is not good at actually hiding what she's doing, huh? Everyone knows, they just all go, okay, she doesn't want to talk about it, so I'll just pretend I didn't see it. She sticks her tongue out at me. Of course I'm not really criticizing her. After all, I've been doing the same thing. I take the almanac from her and glance over the page.
繰り下げ当選になっている。
I spoke with her several times when I was putting myself forward as a candidate for president. While it's only my own personal impression of her, she doesn't seem like the type of person who would be so desperate to be in the council she'd resort to underhand tactics.
草部先輩がコミカド先輩を陥れようなんて考えづらいわ。すごく正義感が強い人だもの。そうね。
I'm relieved that Ika-san has the same impression. My lack of socialization means I don't have much confidence in my ability to get a read on people. Perhaps taking my silence as a sign that I've arrived at a dead end, Ika-san focuses on drinking her tea for a moment before speaking up again, her brow furrowed.
事件にこれ以上詳しい生徒は多分いないと思う。だからこれ以上のお話を聞くなら教諭方にお話。ええ。でも生徒たちと密なつながりのある片上寮長にはすでに聞いているし、ならダリア先生だったら。
I must have pulled a face at the mention of her name as Ika-san sets her teacup down, recognizing that it's not an option.
だったら勤続年数が長くて生徒と仲がいい先生。
She muses, then claps her hands together.
石塚先生にお話を聞いてみましょう。全部当てはまるわ。
Ooh. She suggests excitedly. Suddenly, we're getting to know a bunch of characters we've never seen before. To be completely honest, I had no idea who Miss Ishizuka was when Nika-san first brought up her name. That's because, while she had been at the academy a long time, my impression of her doesn't exactly gel with Nika-san's description of someone well-liked by the student body. As I listened to Nika-san talk about Miss Ishizuka, it finally hit me that she was a supervisor for the art club. She is also the teacher I had been at odds with when I tried to get into the art room to see Mayuri's paintings. Oh. However, when I went along with Nika-san to speak with her the following day, I was greeted with a very different attitude. I realize now that, while she's a stickler for the rules, she does genuinely care about her students. But she doesn't get us right. After exchanging pleasantries and small talk, the conversation progressed even better than I'd hoped for.
日が暮れかけてきていたのね。結構長居しちゃったみたいね。
Our success was all thanks to my amitié partner and the good relationship she's cultivated with Miss Ishizuka.
ありがとう。ああ、いいのよ。石塚教諭は紅茶好きで話が合うの。だからちょくちょくお話ししているし。そうだったの。それよりも有益な情報があるかもって紹介したのに、あまり変わり映えしない情報だったし。
No spread for you. I tell her that's not the case. She plainly thinks I'm just saying it to be nice, but the truth is, I did glean some useful information.
事件の概要は岡間先輩の方が詳しかったけれど、新しい情報を得ることができたわ。え？そんなお話？新しく学院を去った人を聞くことができたじゃない。それって一身上の都合で辞めたっていう標本学の先生のこと？
Miss Midori Karasimoni, the teacher with the unusual name who taught specimen preparation, left the academy at around the same time as the student. Oh.
その写真。
Who takes a picture of the teacher like that? Jesus Christ. She peers down at the photo we borrowed from Miss Ishizuka. It shows Miss Karasimoni working in the specimen room. The camera zoomed in on her. She's wearing an apron and working on a wet specimen, her expression serious as she focuses intently on her work.
石塚先生の数年後に赴任してこられたらしくて、初めての後輩だから随分と仲が良かったそうよ。
The teacher's got on me. This reminds me of my grandfather's stories about a junior he took under his wing back when he was working as a doctor.
こんな写真を撮る仲なんですもの。仲がいいに決まっているわよね。烏森教諭が去年まで標本学をずっと教えていた。ええ、資格を持った優秀な先生だったって。今はダリア先生が臨時教諭として教えてくれているけれど。
Her apron is also crooked. Gazing at the photograph, I came to understand the meaning behind those words that had stood out.
学院にとって喪失だったという言葉は烏森教諭に向けられたものだったのね。
I drew my gaze back down to the photo. Pulling out the other photo, I compared it to. I thought so. Seeing the overlap set something off inside me, an alarm bell alerting me to the fact that I'm missing something important.
ありがとう、リッカさん。え？もうお礼は言われたわよ。
And I'll thank you again.
私だけでは到達できなかった。お礼が言いたいの。
Pieces of the puzzle I've collected so far are beginning to combine and slot together.
12人のイカれる男のヘンリー・フォンダと同じことをしようとしていたみたいね。
Who in the what? I murmured to myself as I gazed at the snowflakes fluttering in the sky outside the window, as though somewhere out there I might find Yatsushita-senpai, who once solved this mystery herself. So what, the mystery is that the teacher was dating one of the students? So they both had to leave the school because, we can't have that getting out. The snow stopped falling, but a chill wind remains, gusting through the bare branches of the trees and shaking flurries of flakes from them. As I watched the tiny specks of powder fluttering in the wind, internally I saw through the pieces of the puzzle. I examined all the pieces I've gathered thanks to Rika-san. I think I have pretty much all the information I need to make a deduction. Usually at this point I just need to propose and refine my hypothesis, but
何かが足りない気がする。
right now it's like I have all the pieces for the pod but nothing to stew in it.
八代先輩なら仏作って魂入れずというところだわ。
A sucker for period drama, she would sometimes come out with old-fashioned turns of phrase. Thinking of the older girl reminds me of my grandfather. Because they both used dated vocabulary. No, it's because both of them gave the impression that they were playing the part of themselves. Feeling a hand on my shoulder, I look up blearily into my amitié partner's face.
白羽会長。
Touch draws me out of my thoughts and back to the present.
二階屋の会の定例会議。大丈夫？
The night before, Rika-san's expression is clouded because she knows exactly what I'm wrestling with.
話を続けても構いませんか?
No. Tsubuki-san asks me in a hard tone, probably annoyed at my having interrupted her supplementary budget proposal, and I nod.
ごめんなさい。続けてください。
She sends me a pointed look, then carries on reading out the literature club's budget details in the same steely voice. After the meeting,
スオさん。
I shoot off, planning to head to the library so I can do some thinking of my deduction when a voice stops me in my tracks. Rika-san hurries over to me and addresses me in a low voice.
会議の時、何か思い悩んでいるように見えたけど、あの事件のこと。
1 second. Cat smells like fresh laundry, so I'm assuming he was sleeping in the fresh laundry basket. Very floral aroma coming from him.
Gomen nasai. 責めているわけではないの。今からまた捜査をするなら。大丈夫。もう十分情報は集めたわ。考えをまとめようと思っていたところなの。それじゃ私も少ししたら寮へ戻るわ。だから心配しないで。
A gust of strong wind rattles the window, and I turn my gaze outside. I'm captivated by the way the scattered snowfall is swept up in flurries, only to float back down again. Hearing the sound of the door to the evening opening, I turn around.
白羽会長。
Yeah? I turn stiff to Ibuki-san gives me a piercing look, or rather an outright glare.
花菱副会長に意地悪をしないでください。
Girl, just because you have a crush on my immature
Dosta.
partner doesn't give you the right
物
to
憂
act
な
like
美少
this.
女は絵になるが、思い詰めすぎた顔つきだと千鳥の好きな怪談物になるぞ。
エリカさん。
She's heading my way together with Dingo-san, who's becoming a common fixture at the handles of a wheelchair.
諏訪吹さんの言うようにリッカさんをいいように使っていたのかしら。
Wait. Hmm? Friend. Meow. What is yours? Meow. Ah. Brother, I am streaming. I do not have time for you. Huh? Why?
おや、本当に何か物憂げを通り越して悩んでいるようですね。
まさか、まだ血まみれメアリー事件を調べてるのか。
I am, but that's not what I'm thinking about.
私、リッカさんを利用しているように見えるのかしら。
おい、誰にそんなくだらないことを言われた。
Irika-san quickly drops her voice, and I raise my head to look at her.
陰口を叩くやつの名前を言え。私が話をつけてきてやる。
Seeing the anger in her face, I hurriedly tell her she's got the wrong end of the stick.
何が違うって言うんだ。
そうですよ、スオちゃん。
うん
抱え込まないで私たちに話してほしいですよ。そうじゃないの。二階屋の会の会議で失敗をしてしまってリッカさんに迷惑をかけて。
二階屋の会のやつらか。
会議が終わった後にリッカさんが心配してくれて、それで気遣ってくれていたのだけど、諏訪吹さんが。
For some reason, the two of them send one another an inscrutable look.
なるほど。諏訪吹さんからあまりりっちゃんさんを無下に扱うなと言われたわけですね。ええ、すごいわ。その通りよ。
ああ、意地悪ではあるが、こいつは。
なんというか、一概に叩けない案件になりましたね。
We've both adopted rather conspiratorial looks. What on earth are they thinking?
悪いお顔になっているけれど、諏訪吹さんに何もしちゃダメよ。
初めて話を聞いた時は勘違いしてるんじゃねえぞと一言釘を刺してやる気だったけどな。 ツアブキさんの気持ちを考えたら致し方なしなのですよ。
ツワブキさんの気持ち？
Irika-san lets out a long sigh and beckons me closer. When I stoop down, she flicks me right in the forehead.
こういう話が疎い私でもわかることだぞ。露骨だろうが。ですね、ツワブキさんはりっちゃんさんが好きなんですよ。
I turn to Ringo-san, whose face is beet red, and I tell her that I know.
アミティエ同士で気まずくなっているツワブキさんを気遣ってニカヤの会に誘ったのはリッカさんだもの。好意を抱いていないわけがないわ。
な、お前が言っているのはライクの方だろ。私たちが言っているのはラブの方なんだよ。
Like love. Hearing this, the realization hits me. Still, though, I need a moment before it turns into true comprehension. Eh? Forgetting that we're in the library, I accidentally let out a loud cry.
驚くことに驚きですよ。
だって
な、お前を除くクラスの大半は周知の事実ってやつだぞ。
Irika-san is looking at me as though I've just asked her if she knows the rules of baseball. Still, the revelation has got me thinking. Okay. There he goes.
確かに今までの振る舞いや言動。
Truly, these are the kinds of moments where it's kind of sad that I'm not a webcam streamer, because I could put up an actual CAD webcam. But you just have to trust me when I say that he just ran straight across my desk and left the room. Oh, you're not giving me enough attention? Fine. Ugh. I'll leave.
だろ。
Yay!
そうだったの。
I do see, she says, with her eyes closed. Putting myself into Abuki-san's shoes, I now understand exactly why she's angry. She thinks I've been using Nika-san. And it makes sense that she would see it like that.
まあ、なんだ。一言言えるのは、お前が悪いわけじゃない。誰も悪いわけじゃないんだよ。間が悪かったのはあるかもしれないですけれどね。
Irika-san slaps Ringo-san lightly on the butt, telling her that sarcasm is her thing. At the same time, I feel as though a heavy yet inexplicable weight has settled over my shoulders. The wind has ceased, and the light of the setting sun paints the trees and the snow crimson. However, a shadow lurks in the glass of the window. Thoughts of what I learned back in the library keep racing through my mind.
ツワブキさんがリッカさんを。
Oh yeah, we're actually going to get to the actual mystery solving part tonight. Nika-san has a heart of gold. People who have been hurt before find a balm in her kind and caring personality. I understand why Tsubuki-san would fall for her. In fact, there are probably plenty of students who idolize her, and it's not unusual for such feelings to blossom into something more.
だから
I can't continue the sentence. I feel like if I speak the words out loud, something precious will spill out of me with them. My heart heavy and anguished, I stare into the window. The shadow deepens, forming into a distinct silhouette. Of course, here it comes. The nausea. The nausea and the sepia filter. Apparently. Starting from yeah. I mean, to be fair, perfect size for her to hit. Height. Well, size maybe as well, I don't know. Height. I meant height, though. I know that my stepmother will appear to me whenever I'm feeling empty and weak.
あなたは存在しない。
そうね。
The illusion agrees with me and I have no comeback. My stepmother cackles hideously.
聖母祭で私の影を消せたとでも思ったの？
She taunts me.
多幸感から思い違いをしていただけ。私を塗り
You
つぶ
thought
す
you
る
had
ことで
written
も
me out
思
of
った
your
の
life for
かしら。
good. The girl simply blocked me out
一時的に
momentarily.
あの子が
あなたがマユリを語らないで。
また裏切られる。怖がっているのね。
Hearing my own fears repeated in my ears, I can't deny them. I simply glared at her figure in the
そ
glass.
んな目をしても無駄よ。お前が不安を隠しきれなくなっているからこそ私がこうしているのだもの。そんなに取られるのが惜しいのなら今のアミティを選べばいい。
何を。
マユリという女はお前を選ばなかった。いいえ、選んだけれどお前よりも大切なものができたのよ。
やめて。
美術室ではっきりと聞いたでしょ。お前は捨てられた。
Ooh. I hope that my yell will banish the vision, that if it's something my fragile mind has conjured up, I can simply drown it out with anger, but nothing has changed. You'll always be alone. Even when I cover my ears, I can still hear her hideous voice. My stepmother laughs just like she always did when I hit the wrong
こんな
keys.
に話せるなんてあの老いぼれに預けられる前を思い出す。愉快だわ。とても気分がいいから一つお前に教えてあげる。人が罪を犯す理由は金か愛か動機を隠そうとするためかのどれかよ。
It's the first time she said anything for any purpose other than to jeer at me. I stared at the glass in disbelief.
母は私の影。
The nausea surging up in me is raw and tangible, just like back then, but
母が言っているのではない。私の心が言わせている。
which means that question is. Screwing my eyes shut, I suppress the nauseous feeling. In the darkness, I feel the presence of my stepmother beside me. I let out a long breath and take in a deep lungful of crisp, pure winter air. My stepmother has vanished from the window, because one of the things that has been plaguing me has also disappeared.
人が罪を犯す理由は金か愛か動機を隠そうとするためかのどれか。
My stepmother, or rather the words that I stowed away deep inside myself, they've given me the missing piece of the puzzle, the solution to the case that Yatsushita-senpai once solved. Faintly I hear a mocking voice. Are you going to keep it to yourself like you always do? But this time it serves as encouragement. I'll be browsing old ghosts, but right now my stepmother's ridicule has become my impediment. Wiping my sweaty brow, I set off to get my final statement. I stood in the dark, quiet textiles room. The emotions swirling within me make my chest feel tight. When surrounded by silence, my thoughts default to my stepmother. She was shockingly reticent. I don't recall ever hearing her talk much in daily life. The only time she became free with her words was when she was teaching piano, sneering at me, or talking with my father. Just as thinking of Yatsushiro-senpai reminds me of my grandfather, so too does thinking of my stepmother make me recall my father. The exact opposite of her, he loved to talk to the point that he seemed to be ill at ease with silence. When he came home from work, he would regale my stepmother with anecdotes from the day, tidbits from conversation with his friends, and chat about his hobbies. My stepmother always seemed happy to listen. However, one day, today, I found myself unable even to touch the keys, and I made a complete fool of myself at a piano contest. I came clean to my father for the first time about my relationship with her. I told him everything. And then...
父はあっさり母を捨てた。
Within a month of my confession, they were getting a divorce and I was being sent to live with my grandfather. Those who knew my father well said that he chose to separate from her in order to keep me safe. His friends must have seen him as a devoted father, protecting his child from a wicked stepmother. But I...
結婚するほどまで愛していたのに、そんなに簡単に離れることができるの？
Well, he loved you more. But also he didn't see you suffering, so... I don't know. Huh? The question had latched itself onto my brain and has remained there ever since. He divorced her because he loved me. But does that mean he hadn't loved her? Was it that easy for him to make the trade, to cut one of us off to keep the other?
これから話をつけなくてはならないのだから。
That was because of what had happened with Ika-san. I was thinking of her and Mayuri. Shaking my head, I decided to go over the Bloody Mary incident in my head as I wait for her to arrive. Ah! Yes! Wow, 2 hours after the fact we're actually finally reasoning. Jesus Christ. First order of business, the motive behind the incident. I had to discern a clear, simple motive. Something like she eliminated her sisters to claim the inheritance. Why was Nineko Mikado framed for the Bloody Mary incident, and why her specifically? What was the motive for framing Nineko Mikado? An emotional entanglement. And what led me to this reason? I have to clear my head now before I lay it all out to her. Okay, and before we do that, I would like a save here so I can go do the bad endings sometime afterward. The photos. Photo. I compared the 2 photos I borrowed. There are 2 things I've noticed they both have in common. Yeah, well, one is the bow. And there's one more thing, and the other is the scrunchie. The other point. Am I done? Yes. This should do it. I'm satisfied with the hypothesis I've put together in my head. There are no flaws in my reasoning. Still, the incident in question happened a year ago. There's no solid evidence I can show for it. So now I have to... Never change, you just continue to repeat the same pattern over and over again. Hearing my stepmother's voice, I brushed my hands over my ears as though this action will dispel the accompanying nausea. Nausea. Which is why at first I don't realize that someone is calling my name. When she repeats it, I slowly turn to face the woman I asked to meet me. She stands in the dimness of the textiles room, Sister Basquiat. Oh yeah, just peachy.
ええ、お呼び立てして申し訳ありません。バスキア教諭。
Sister Basquiat has to be so tired of like finding some kind of a secret time and time again and calling her out for this and that and whatever. Like, god damn it, what is it with the first years this year?
構いません。こんな時間にこのような場所へ来てほしいと頼むのなら、よほどのことなのでしょう。
She smiles affably at me. I know that what I'm about to bring up is something she won't want to talk about, but I have to do this.
はい、バスキア教諭に尋ねたいことがあります。それは私たちが入学する前にあった血まみれメアリー事件のことです。
Get straight to the chase. Since I have no definitive proof, my only option is to push her into talking. Sister Basquiat looks taken aback.
それは
Her voice is a whisper.
一昨年の年末に起きたとされる事件です。3年生が一時に血まみれメアリーの儀式を行い、
学院から離れたのは個々人それぞれに理由があったからです。儀式などというもののせいではありません。
From her firm denial, in a tone very different to usual, I sense that she's hiding something.
ですが、そういった噂が流れたのは事実です。
口さがない噂話ですよ。
しかし、コミカド先輩を誹謗中傷する噂もほぼ同時期にまかれた。
I have to laugh at myself. I sound like a true detective. Sister Basquiat looks like she's about to say something, but she then thinks better of it, so I continue.
その様子ではご存知だったようですね。3年生が血まみれメアリーの儀式を行ったのはコミカド先輩が無理やりやらせたのだ。
嘘だとみんなも理解していたのでしょう。悪い噂はすぐ断ち切れました。
違います。当時の八代先輩が汚名を注いだのです。もちろんコミカド先輩は儀式を無理強いなんてさせていない。彼女は陥れられた。
Sister Basquiat doesn't ask me by whom. She already knows.
3年生が儀式を行ったのは事実です。恐ろしい思いをしたのも、コミカド先輩を陥れた者は それに乗る形で
一時期二階屋の会に立候補したせいで対立候補から流されたものではという話も耳にしましたが。
Tell her that's not possible. Explain that it was Kusabe senpai who was running against her at the time, and that from what I know of her personality and how she became secretary afterwards, it's clear that she harbored no ill feelings toward Komikado senpai.
では
コミカド先輩を陥れたのはかつて標本学を教えていた
Sister Dahlia falls silent when I voice the name of the culprit, but it's an eloquent silence that speaks volumes. In that silence, I can practically hear the cogs turning in her head at top speed as she puts things together, trying to figure out how she can smooth the matter over. Breaking the silence, I ask her whether she's aware that there was another student who dropped out in addition to the third years.
当時の1年生で八代先輩のアミティエだった秋津しおりさんも噂が出た少し後に彼女は八代先輩と仲が良かった。いいえ
She was in love with her, I say.
烏森教諭は秋津さんと八代先輩が結ばれることを望んでいました。だから悪い噂を流しコミカド先輩を排除しようとした。
Sister Basquiat's brows knit together. She asked me why she would do such a thing. This is a secret of the academy, so she wants to remain hidden.
それは烏森教諭と秋津しおりさんには密接なつながりがあったからです。彼女の恋を応援するほどの。
With that, I take out the photos. I hand her one of them, telling her I borrowed it from Hokama senpai.
写真
I watch Sister Basquiat carefully as she takes the photo from me. Then I pass her the one I borrowed from Ishizuka.
バスキア教諭、何か気づいた点はありますか？
これは聖母祭での一枚とこちらは標本作業をしている時の。
この2枚の写真には共通点があります。
She compares the two photos, then after a moment murmurs the word. Bingo.
どちらもエプロンの結び目が縦になっています。はじめ標本作業で液浸作業などを行う際、伸びたリボンの紐が邪魔にならないよ
Oh,
うわざと縦に結ぶやり方があると聞きました。
that makes sense.
どうやらこれは烏森教諭の癖のようです。
Next, I point to the image of Shiori Akitsu in the photo I get from Hokama senpai.
秋津さんも同じように縦にエプロンを結んでいます。霊法の授業のあるこの学院ではおかしな符号です。だから私は岡間先輩へ訪ねてみました。たまたま訪れていた烏森教諭が海外しく秋津さんのエプロンを結んでいたことを思い出し、バスキア教諭、烏森みどり教諭と秋津しおりさんは近しい関係。例えば親戚同士だった。
The photos alerted me to something, though I couldn't quite put my finger on what. And then there were the words of my stepmother. People commit crimes for one of three reasons: love, money, or to cover up a motive. I focused on the motive part. I wondered if there was a person standing at the center of all the information I gathered, if there was someone trying to hide a motive. At last, Sister Basquiat speaks, her expression pained.
ええ、以前
Oh,
やった
cousins!
ことがあるわ。
Okay, well, I was...
いとこ同士だ
I
った
was
そうよ。
off. Sure, okay, cousins. After a long silence, she confirms my hunch.
烏森
Oh yeah, Sister Basquiat also got one new sprite. Okay, that's three characters who got one new sprite
秋
each
津さんが
so
恋
far.
焦がれている八代先輩との恋を実らせるために悪い噂を広めた。
Yet Sushida Senpai dispelled the rumor herself. After all, it was rooted in next to nothing.
それはコミカド先輩の性格やもともと3年生との関係が希薄なことからです。脅す理由がない。しかし辞めた3年生の部屋からほどなくして脅迫文が見つかった。
まさかそれも。
辞めた生徒の部屋は当然施錠し管理される。
course, this wasn't accounting for any students who might happen somehow to have acquired lockpicking skills. I think brightly of Erika-san.
この脅迫文もコミカド先輩の筆跡を真似てはいましたが、文字の書き癖を完全に消すことができず、八代先輩にカンパされてしまった。そして
I'm positive that Yatsushiro senpai confronted Miss Karasumori and got her to admit to our guilt.
彼女は学院を去った。
I nod. However, Sister Basquiat interjects.
市場に駆られた烏森教諭が学院を去ったのはわかるわ。でも秋津さんまで辞めることはなかった。
My ears start to ring. She's still trying to keep her secrets.
お前と同じよ。
My stepmother's voice is a loaded murmur in my ear. I clench my fist, willing her away. Akishio gives me the courage to say what needs to be said. I look Sister Basquiat directly in the eye, steeling myself to voice a taboo that she'll see as unforgivable, both as a Christian and as an individual.
標本学の烏森みどり
Oh, maybe I was not too far off, actually, the first time
し
around.
おりさんを愛していたのではないですか。
I say it. It's something of a stretch, but I've come to what I believe is a conclusive explanation for why Shiori Akitsu left the academy. I'm picking at all rooms, but if I'm to get my hands on a key that leads to Mayuri, I need adequate information. Hard facts, not hypotheses. Sister Basquiat remains tight-lipped, as though silence is golden, yet it says as much as silver. She seems resolved not to break it. However, I ask her to take another good look at the photos. Well, there's one more sign.
私が烏森教諭と秋津さんがつながりが深いのではないかと推察したのはエプロンの結び目だけではありません。
Indicating the photos in Sister Basquiat's hand, I point out the other commonality from which I surmised that the two were closer than originally thought.
秋津しおりさんが髪に
My
つけている
sister,
シュ
my
シュ、
sister.
そして烏森教諭が手首につけているもの、ペアアクセサリーを相手に送るわけにはいかない。だからこそ身につけられる常識の範囲で送ったものなのでしょう。これは烏森教諭から送られたものなのですか？
Or was it the other way round? I ask. It's not definitive proof, it's just one of the hints that led me to the idea that they were related. However,
バスキア教授、
by producing my evidence one piece at a time, I can make her think I've got more up my sleeve, and thereby drawing out the truth from her. It's a tactic I've learned from novels. I say her name again. But she maintains her silence. I bite my lip.
あなたは嘘をつかれるのですか？
I ask her. I just stop myself from adding an again to the end of my question. Her face twists into an expression of anguish. It's the kind of look people get when you've hit them where it hurts. Perhaps this will lead her to reveal her secret.
でもここで引き下がることはできない。
I need some information that's not just speculation, and I can't get it from anyone other than Sister Basquiat, who took over Miss Karasumori's specimen preparation classes.
白羽さん、私は聖職者です。
Yes, on my fucking fault.
バスキア教諭、
烏森教諭は学院を去る際、引き継ぎをする私へ懺悔をなされました。
You want a Pikachu? Okay. Sure, you'll get a Pikachu.
でかちベガベガでかち。
正式な国会です。その内容を他に漏らすことはできません。
ですが
世間話をしましょうか、白羽さん。どこにでもいるような生徒と教師のお話を。
Hearing this, I hold my tongue.
教師は生徒のことを愛していました。愛しているからこそ幸せになってほしいと願い去っていきました。
Hi, Mary. How are you?
秋津さん、いえ、生徒に対して教師は気持ちを伝えなかったのですか？
This is just a story. A dime a dozen story about a nameless student and teacher.
生徒が幸せになるのなら自分が相手でなくても構わない。教師はそういう人だったの。生徒を真実の意味で愛していたのです。
Doing good. It's good. We're finally clearing up our first mystery of the game.
だけどいいえ、だからこそ辛い顔だけは見たくない。
We got many more to go. And so she headed down the wrong path, she goes on.
真相を見抜かれ教師は学院を去りました。道を誤った自分が教師でいる資格はないと。
その生徒は真実を知ったから。
その生徒は聡明な方でした。何も告げずに辞めた教師を見て理解したのでしょう。
Imagine Akitsu-san passing through the gates of the academy in the clear chill of early winter and suddenly feel unbearably sad. How must she have felt leaving everything behind? And how must Yatsushiro-san have felt left alone in her now incongruously spacious dorm room?
世間話はここまでです。
八代先輩が残した課題のようなものです。
I cut her off with my answer.
課題？
二階屋の会の会長が書き残していた年間に1年以上前に起こった事件の記述が。私はこれを八代先輩が残した。
Of course this isn't true, but I can't tell Sister Basquiat that I was driven to solve the case because it will provide a lead to Shion Basquiat.
そうですか。
はい。このことは私へと向けられた課題。誰にも言うつもりはありません。ただ、知りたかったのです。
This isn't a lie. Perhaps because I have the ring of truth, my words chime in the air with a strange clarity before fading into silence like a receding wave. It doesn't feel real. In the dimness of the textiles room I see two figures, the nun revealing the truth as though giving confession, and my stepmother hovering like a ghost in the corner. But now I must face reality. The cold creeping up from the soles of my feet is undeniably real, as I suspect of my stepmother slowly closing in on me.
もう少しだから待っていて。
I've solved the mystery of the Bloody Mary incident that Yatsushiro-senpai once entangled herself. In doing so, I've taken another step toward my amitié. Filled with a sense of satisfaction that conflicts with a deep underlying feeling of desolation, I slowly close my eyes. Then I send up a prayer for Mayuri and for those girls who scatter to the wind like snowflakes. Lying in bed, I think back on my exchange with Sister Basquiat in the textiles room. I've solved the mystery that will lead me to the key to Shion Basquiat. I've already drawn my own conclusions, but on hearing Sister Basquiat's testimony, I was able to confirm that I was right. This will lead me to Mayuri. I can set down a path based on nothing but supposition.
八代先輩が血まみれメアリー事件にて解き明かした犯人はいとこを思うあまりに道を誤った標本学の烏森みどり教諭。
You better push your check. And the hydrotem. And the pet. Yes. This is a farewell gift given out of concern for you. I'm going to tell you a bit of intel I got from an incident I investigated a year ago. That's what Yatsushiro-senpai said when she directed me toward the ruins of the old chapel where Shion Basquiat lay.
先輩が1年生の時に調べていた事件。血まみれメアリー事件の真相が。
I don't understand how this has gotten us any closer to the mystery of Shion Basquiat though. Okay, so they had a teacher here at the school who had feelings for a student who was also her cousin, and they both left. How does it help us?
シオンバスキアへと至る鍵は烏森みどり教諭が握っていた。
No.
学院から去った八代先輩のアミティへ秋津しおりさんが何かを残し、そこから旧聖堂を。
You can't do anything with no pieces, but it's also a problem when you have too many. I potential theories are chaotically multitudinous. What? What? Brother, how do you say that?
Multitudinous.
Multitudinous. Ah, it wasn't even that far off. Wow, I'm surprised. Okay, multitudinous. Manifold. I mean, I understand what it is a word for, but how the multitudinous? Multitudinous. Frustration swells within me. Turning away from the ceiling and onto my side, I squinted to the dim room. And number Lord. See, you're still trying in vain. See, there's no evil stepmother here because she's just getting covered. I'm just covering her. Boom. From the corner beside my desk, my stepmother speaks to me in a quiet yet clear voice. Shut the fuck up. I'm losing heart. Despite finally solving the mystery Yatsushita-senpai left for me and digging up conclusive proof, my nerves are faltering. With slow, trudging footsteps, she approaches me. Nausea rears up within me like the ominous grumble of distant thunder. I clench my fist in an attempt to make myself feel brave, but my stepmother is still there, moving inexorably toward me. Even worse than looking into my stepmother's face is the thought of her wicked form looming over Rika-san as she lay sleeping in the bunk below. I clutch at my chest, my fingernails digging into my skin as I will her not to. The dark figure stops in her tracks and turns her hateful gaze on me. It sounds like a riddle. No, it's a quote from a conversation between Michael Corleone and Frank Pentangeli in The Godfather Part 2. As I mull over the phrase in bewilderment, she abruptly disappears, leaving nothing but her faint cackling in my ears. My stepmother is a spectre thrown up by mind, which makes anything she says a product of my own brain. So what do those words mean? Enemies close by. Was the key left to me by Yatsushita-senpai one that leads not to the deceased Shion Basquiat but to the top of Agape? Enemies. That's a strong word. Who would that label apply to? Sister Basquiat is an enemy number one. While she may have given me the clue to unraveling the Bloody Mary case, that doesn't mean she'd always lead me true. Fighting back the nausea that threatens to well up in me again, I close my eyes and try to sleep. Usually, any time spent in this place would be filled with nothing but fear, yet today... Oh. For someone like me with my crippling fear of bugs and butterflies, simply being in the specimen room is a grueling trial, but now... I mutter, forcing myself to look at the racks of specimens. My gaze travels over the shelf with the wet specimens, and... The dry specimens are split between a shelf of entomological specimens and taxidermy, and a shelf of crystals, fossils, and other such samples. Stuffed foxes and martens aren't particularly disturbing, but butterflies aside, the scarabs and rhinoceros beetles with their thick, shiny shells send a shiver of disgust up my spine. I feel it. I wouldn't want to be in here either. Striking to suppress the goosebumps prickling across my skin, I'm steeling myself to deal with the entomological specimens when someone calls my name. Jesus Christ. I accidentally let out a little scream. I don't want to lie to her if I can help it. Turning my back on a shelf, I nod. She was absolutely right that I should have. However... Since we began taking classes in specimen preparation, cleaning the specimen room has been added as one of the course in our chores on our list of post-lunch cleaning duties. Of course, since the other year groups also make use of this classroom, we take it in turns. And within the first years, we each take it in turns to be on duty, which means I don't have any chances to use cleaning as an excuse to search.
スオさん？そうね。私が床掃除、リッカさんが標本棚の清掃をすればよかったのよね。
While it would be a heavy-handed use of my power, as the president of the Council of Nicaea, I have the authority to get the key to the specimen room. Being fearful isn't going to help me search in this limited window of opportunity. As much as it pains me, I decide I'll have to use my power as president. After a brief conflicted moment, I nod and Nika-san giggled.
だからそう言ったでしょ。でも。
Yeah, that's true. I feel like you learn a lot in the third game when you actually play as her, how lots of times she would find out something but then decided to not reveal it any further, but just speak with the actual parties in question. And be like, oh, I'm not going to tell anyone, but I just needed to have you understand that what you did is blah blah blah. I understand how she was a very powerful person, for just a student.
リッカさん？初めに決めたことは最後までしなくちゃね。さあ、畑で標本棚の埃をきれいにしてちょうだい。
She informs me in a tone that doesn't leave room to argue. I think of the movie Sophie's Choice and the titular choice the protagonist is forced to make. Choice between death or despair.
冗談よ、冗談。たまにはイチゴさんみたいに。
I find it hard to tell if someone's joking when I say it with a straight face, so I took it at face value. I feel like my insides have been stuffed with cotton wool.
苦手な昆虫標本の棚を掃除しなくてはいけなくなったというだけじゃない。
It felt like when I was bullied at the previous school I attended.
窓側の方は掃除し終わったから、廊下側の残りをお願い。私の方は白片標本、鉱物や化石の棚と剥製の棚は終わっているわ。なるほど。苦手な昆虫標本の棚と液芯標本以外は終わっているわね。
A chirpy smile relaxes me as I take the dustpan and brush from her. As I sweep, I notice that it started snowing outside. Big, soft, white flakes. The kind of snow you only realize is falling when it comes into view. Staring at the snow floating down from the sky like downy feathers, surrounded by the silent dead frozen in time, I feel as though time has stopped for me too. Like I've been pinned in place by a lance through my own heart. Whenever I see snow fall, rather than appreciating its beauty, instead I feel a hollow sadness for my stepbrother. Oh.
リッカさん。
Alerted by a sound behind me, my attention is quickly drawn back to her.
手が滑って。
As I expected from the noise, she's dropped a specimen jar. The vial, which contained a plant specimen, is smashed. The distinctive scent of formaldehyde, somewhere between paint thinner and insect repellent, fills the air.
先生を。
I'm gonna give up reading. Jesus.
その前に片付けてしまいましょう。ガラスを片付けておかないと危ないわ。
This is the actual reason why I don't like reading out loud, because then everyone will learn that I have no idea how to say half the words in this language. Ika-san nods her agreement, and I warn her not to touch the shattered fragments. I go to the next door storeroom to grab newspaper to wrap up the shards and rags to wipe up the spilled formalin. Malin. After finding what I was looking for, I return to the specimen room.
手を切ってしまったの。
Seeing Nika-san clasping her finger, I toss the things aside and rush over to her. Taking her hand in mine, I find blood bleeding from a 1 centimeter gash on her right index finger.
大変。ごめんなさい。大きなガラス片だけでも。
See, that's why you don't pick up glass. Broken glass with your bare hands.
スオさん。
You know that already. Pretend, please. I do as my granddad once did for me and stick her finger into my mouth. As I suck on it, the faint metallic tang of blood fills my mouth. Pursing my lips, I suck hard in case a sliver of glass has found its way into the wound. Oh my god, girl.
もう大丈夫だから。
I probe a finger with the tip of my tongue. It still tastes coppery, so the cut must still be bleeding. So, please! Jesus! I continue sucking until I can no longer taste blood. Then after another moment, I remove my lips.
血はもう止まったと思うけれど。
Oh, we should disinfect it, she says.
ばい菌が入るといけないの。
After sucking on it for several minutes. We should oh my. Yeah, alright. No witness to true art? My eyes are wide open. I peer into Rika-san's dazed face and she stares intently back for a moment before blinking, like she's waking up from a dream.
少しだけ待っていて。ガラス片を片付けておくから。そうしたらすぐ保健室へ行きましょう。
After sweeping up the glass shards, I take Rika-san, who still seems like she's just awoken from a dream, by the hand and lead her to the nurse's office. Like that of a dog? No! Oh, hey, we get a point of view change.
私が欲したものは決して手に入らない。
We're still on chapter 2, by the way. Just, like...
彼女のアミティエとの物語はその言葉から始まっていた。出会いの季節の春、聖アングレカム学院に入学したこと。不安を抱えていた彼女はこの学院でやっていけるのかと、家の事情から離れることを決意してはいたが、家元から離れるのは初めてだったし、寮暮らしも不安だったと。学院に入学したての私と同じ気持ちが綴られていた。しかし学院の桜の木の下での出会いが不安をまるで引き波のように消し去ったのだと記されていた。なぜだか私をほうけたように見つめる彼女に自分自身も目をそらせなかったと。彼女を初めて見たときは桜の精のようだと感じたのだという。高校と照らす月光の中、黒く長い髪が、真っ白い肌が、作り物のような端正な顔立ちが月の光にほのかに浮かび上がった様は、思えばこの時からすでに心を奪われていたのかもしれない。満開の夜桜の下で初めて交わした二人のやりとりが続く。固くはあるが出会いのやりとりに心が温かくなるのを感じた。結びにこの出会いは必然であったと思う。そう不吉な言葉で締められていた。初めの書き出しにあった私が欲したものは決して手に入らない。その言葉と最後に記されていた言葉に胸の奥を節の多い虫が這い回るようなひどく不吉な思いがこみ上げたのだった。
あ、
グリム童話にカエルの王様と呼ばれる一編がある。
The Frog Prince, yeah!
日本ではカエルの王子様として知られる物語。王女様が感謝の印としてカエルにキスをして魔法使いの呪いが解け、カエルは人の姿に戻り王女様と結ばれるというもの。でも本当のお話では知られている物語ほど優しくはない。泉に金のまりを落とした王女様へカエルは友達になって
and he
くれ
does
る
bring
の
it
が
up, and then she
拾ってき
runs
ますと
away. Thinking he's just a frog, he won't be able to follow me.
王女様はその条件を飲むも、カエルと友達になろうとせず、城へと去ってしまう。これから始まる物語は、友を得たいがために友を切り捨てる哀れなカエルのお話。
Also, actually, hold on. I should. You know how I bought the Frog Prince? No, I can know Henley. Oh. You know how I bought an English version of Grimm's Fairy Tales? Oops. Because my collection of Grimm's Fairy Tales I have here is German, obviously. And in this one, the Frog Prince is actually the very first one. The very first story when you open it. The funniest thing to me is, so this version has it because she does get forced to actually bring him to the castle. Well, no, he does manage to find the way to the castle after she rejected the whole thing. She drops her little golden ball in the pond. He does bring it to her, and then she's like, "Oh well, you're just a stupid frosh," and runs away. He does follow her to the castle. Takes a while. Then when he's in the castle, he explains the entire thing to the king as well, and the king is like, "Well, you did promise it to him, so you're going to befriend him and take him with you to your quarters." And then during the night, the frosh is like, "Oh, but I'm so cold. Won't you let me sleep in your bed with you?" And she gets so mad, she just throws the frog at the wall. Like, smack. Boom, he falls down. He's no longer a frog. He turns back into a human. So there's no funny kiss here. There's no, ooh. She heals him with the power of a kiss. No, she throws him against the wall. Wait. Which makes me wonder, because the English version of Grimm's Fairy Tales I bought just a few weeks ago for the simple reason of one day trying to maybe read some fairy tales on stream, because that would be fun. Would probably include the Frog Prince, right? Should have. Hopefully, maybe. Yeah, Frog Prince is on page 171. Let me see. I want to know if it's the same one in here. Oh no, this English version has a so once again different. Interesting. She just let him sleep on the bed, on the pillow, and then after several nights, one night she wakes up only to not see a frog anymore, but a handsome prince. He told her that he had been enchanted by a malicious fairy who had changed him into the form of a frog, in which he was fated to remain till some princess should take him out of the spring and let him sleep upon a bed for 3 nights. "You," said the prince, "have broken this cruel charm, and now I have nothing to wish for but that you should go with me to my father's kingdom, where I will marry you and love you as long as you live." The young princess, you may be sure, was not long in giving her consent, and as they spoke, a splendid carriage drove up with 8 beautiful horses decked with plumes of feathers and golden harness, and behind rode the prince's servant, the faithful Henry, who had bewailed the misfortune of his dear master so long and bitterly that his heart had well nigh burst. Then all set out full of joy for the prince's kingdom, where they arrived safely and lived happily a great many years. That's interesting. That's a different version than the one I have. German version, at least the German version I have, has his funny little servant Henry actually putting metal bands around his heart that start breaking when he brings them back to the kingdom, and every time it makes a sound, the prince is like, Henry, what was that sound? And Henry goes, oh, don't worry, your majesty, that was just the sound of the metal band breaking that I had put around my heart during the time you were enchanted, blah blah blah. Actually, I have to look it up again. No, sorry, this is making me mad now. Heinrich, der Wagen bricht. Nein, Herr, der Wagen nicht. Es ist ein Band von meinem Herzen, das da lag in großen Schmerzen, als ihr in dem Brunnen saßt, als ihr entfrischt. Noch einmal kracht es auf dem Weg, und der Königssohn meinte immer, der Wagen bräche, und es waren doch nur die Bande, die vom Herzen des treuen Heinrich absprangen, weil sein Herr erlöst und glücklich war. Obviously, that doesn't make sense to anyone who doesn't speak German, and I'm sorry for that, but also, if anyone ever tells you, oh no, in the actual Grimm's version it's like this, and no, there's just like 15,000 fucking versions of all of these fairy tales around, wherever. Okay, good. We can go back to flowers now. Someone calls out a greeting to me. Ooh, pretty! Forcing a smile, I returned the greeting. It's the middle of winter here at St. Angrecum Academy. With the crisp air against my cheeks, I walk on as my classmates shower me with greetings. Bathed in a bright white morning light, the school looks the same as ever, cold and imposing. Each day is like a mirror image of the last. The only difference is in how I feel. The greetings don't fill me with anxiety. Pasting a smile to my face like the one I once practiced in front of the mirror, I respond genially. On top of that, she is. Fake it till you make it. The new information I've received seems almost to insulate me from the piercing cold. Looking up at the school building, my heart and mind are still and quiet as though I stand at the edge of the world. Who is that in the background though? Like this is the choir club girl, right? But who are these two? Then after a long moment, I break the spell. I have to give voice to my determination to make it real. Just as I once made a similar vow to the deathly silence of the dormitory corridor, I speak my resolve, quiet but determined.
Several years before, with her, some villages were visited. Silkworm raising seems to have been popular formerly in a village.
Oh, hell? Yes! I barely hear Sister Basquiat, she reads from the English textbook. A howling wind batters my ears, blocking out everything else. The wind is a storm of my own words. My brain is focused on only one thing.
八代先輩は烏森教諭が起こした事件を経てシオンバスキアへと到達した。ならば烏森教諭とシオンバスキアには手に取ってわかるような明確なつながりがあるのだろうか。
I see her face in my mind's eye. The photo I borrowed from Miss Ishizuka is my only frame of reference. She wore glasses along with a serious expression. What could the specimen prep teacher possibly have in common with Shion Basquiat?
そうじゃん。
Perhaps Shion Basquiat was her teacher. If Shion Basquiat was Sister Basquiat's father, the ages would align. It would also make sense for Sister Basquiat to take over teaching specimen preparation if her father had also taught her about the subject.
そうちゃんって、邪魔しちゃいけませんよ、いちごね。考え事をしているみたいだけどさ、今日の日付からすると出席番号で刺されそうじゃん。
Oh.
何やら随分と重大なことを考えている顔つきですね。昔犯した悪事を開墾しているのかもよ。映画のラストサマーみたいにさ。エリカ先生のような言い回しのジョークですね。
No, if Shion Basquiat had been her teacher, if Shion Basquiat taught specimen preparation here prior to Miss Karasumori taking a job, the name should have been in the staff registers.
ラストサマーみたいに好意的に隠していたら別だけれど。聞こえてたんだ。
No. A sudden loud voice by my ear pulls me out of my cotton wool haze.
聞
今日の日付だけど。
日付がどうしましたか？
When I look up, Sister Basquiat is regarding Ichiko-san with a mask-like smile.
いえ、
はい。
She looks so different to how she did last night.
この役で日付がどうだと聞こえた気がしてですね。
シオン・バスキアと
I try to imagine them as I regard Sister Basquiat.
おかしいんだよ。
I mean, I do not think they recorded them all in one go. I imagine they did like one character all the way through. And not, oh, hey, you switch from here to this one.
お前が？私がおかしいのは普通でしょ。スオちゃんのことだよ。
But yeah, her voice is great. I'm still deep in thought as I methodically eat my spinach and oyster.
カラスモリ教諭とつながりがあると考えていたけれど、人ではなく標本学そのものだとして。
Who is it? Taking another mechanical bite of food, I wonder whether Shion could be a euphemism or shorthand for something.
標本学でシオンという言葉が暗喩として使われていることはないだろうか。長すぎる学術名のため、そう区切って伝えられるとか。
She is running on autopilot, like she's not there. Physically, yes. Mentally, no.
確かに何やら考え込んでいる感じだな。そうでしょ？今朝からずっとこんな感じなんだよ。もしかして落ち込んでいるのかもだよ。落ち込んでいるって、例の件は別に解決できなくても落ち込むような話じゃなかっただろうが。
Shining is so.
例の件って落ち込むって何？こっちの話だよ。塞いでいるだけなら視聴覚室で男たちの番下でも見りゃスカッとするんだけどな。あんな血みどろな映画を見て気分が晴れるわけないでしょ。気分爽快になる映画はすべからく血みどろだろうが。
Okay.
個人的な映画的見解はその辺に。みんな心当たりがないのですね。ああ。いちご姉はありそうですけれど。ないよ。
First thing that comes to mind when I hear Shion is a chemical formula like sodium cyanide, and various chemicals are used in the preparation of specimens. However,
標本学の暗喩までは専門書に載っているかはわからない。なら。
yeah, I don't know, I'd have to ask Sister Basquiat.
それはダメ。
ほら、白羽さんもエリカの映画センスはないって言ってるわよ。勝手につぶやきを恣意的に置き換えるな。なあお前、ちょっと白羽の前でゴッドファーザーのモノマネでもしてやれよ。吹き出すかもしれないぜ。映画のモノマネなんてやったことないよ。それにどの役のモノマネをするの？ゴッドファーザーでモノマネと言ったら青年期のヴィトー・コルレオーネしかないだろう。
I do not know who they're talking about ever. If we go back to the fairy tales, I know about fairy
詰め
tales.
込んで喋れば誰でもヴィトー・コルレオーネに激人になれる。
Sue's brain is coming up with solutions to these riddles that I never even thought about. That's the thing that's killing me here.
本当に？スオちゃんが笑ってくれるならやるけどさ。冗談ですからパンを探さないでください。それにしてもこういう時に一番に騒ぐ人がいないわね。副会長様のことか。確かにいつもなら大騒ぎするところだが。なんでも今の時期が2回屋の会で一番忙しい時期だそうですよ。それじゃあこいつは。
Realizing I've been staring down intently at my katana, lost in thought, I spear Oyster with my fork and pop the whole thing into my mouth. I was expecting it to have cooled down after leaving it for so long, but it's still scalding. My attention is slowly pulled back to the present, and I realize that everyone is staring at me.
どうしたの？
いや、どうしたっていうかさ。
にひひ。
花火師さんは食事を早く切り上げて二階屋の階に向かったそうだけれど、白羽さんはいいの？
Oh dear. Oh boy. I have no excuse.
それで白羽会長、説明会の段取りですが。いえ、その前に聖書の贈呈式を先に決めておかないと。
So many things to be decided on. There are many things that need to be worked out to ensure the entrance ceremony goes ahead without a hitch in April. With February now in sight, we have to settle on our general course of action and make a start on the preliminary preparations.
贈呈式に配られる聖書は教会から送られてくるのよね。
先代の申し送りにそうありました。通例としては奨励題をこちらで設け、それを優秀な生徒を選出し、贈呈式で読み上げる。そして
その後にいただいた聖書から詩篇を選び、みんなで唱和すると。
はい、聖歌を2曲そらんじるのが通例となっています。
昨年は何を歌われたのかしら。
Chika-san flips through the pages.
我神を褒めと麗しマリアのですね。
Secretary to a bookie answers. The group starts to discuss the psalms we should pick for this year.
これじゃ新しい事件を組み込んだ推理をする暇もない。
There are many details that need working out. However, the major concerns are the school information session, the Bible presentation ceremony, and the orienteering event to welcome new students.
オリエンテーリング。
I have memories of my ID from our own orienteering event.
オリエンテーリングじゃなくてオリエンテーションよ。
Okay, whatever. Apparently I said that out loud.
オリエンテーションは入学式の後で上級生の方に学院内を案内してもらったでしょ。あれのことよ。
I don't think I can ever tune out that fully. I can tune out like what people are singing when I'm listening to music while I'm reading something. But as soon as I become aware of that fact, I go back in, and then suddenly I cannot just ignore it anymore. So I usually try to listen to music without any lyrics when I'm reading something. I cannot fully tune out when people are talking ever. I wish I could sometimes, but I cannot. Now I recall how I left the upperclassmen hanging due to my own crippling anxiety.
あれが
なんというか、通例では2年生が新入生を迎えるのだろうけれど、これも案件に入れましょうか。
I must have been pulling a particularly dour face. I hurriedly flipped my hand around.
違うの。春の時に二人きりで学院を案内してもらうのが恥ずかしくて、なかなか声をかけられなくて。
そんなことが。
The other council members stared at me in surprise, and I even hear one teasing voice say how cute. My face flushes all the way to the tips of my ears.
はいはい。会長の意外な一面が分かったのは良かったけれど、今は会議中よ。
I send a silent thanks toward Rika-san as she flashes me a look.
ともかく、オリエンテーションも新たな課題ができたわ。それは当たり前のことだけど、みんながみんな同じではないということ。通例で二人きりで案内するとあるけれど、緊張する人もいるのだろうし。
One of my co-workers is like that, actually. He doesn't do it on purpose, obviously. But sometimes it's like literally we will be in the middle of a conversation, like I have been talking to him and he has been answering, and suddenly he will not have heard me anymore because he's focusing on something else. And then I'm just left there sitting like, I'm waiting for an answer, right? I'm like, then I say his name again, like, did you hear what I said? And he's like, oh, what, yeah, and like, okay, sure, we're only colleagues, it's fine, I'll just repeat myself, whatever, it's okay. But the same happens to him when the boss talks to him sometimes too. I'm like, my guy. That is not good.
ただ今まで通り運営するだけではなく、よりよく改革していくのも私たちの仕事だわ。みんなも気づいたら、私や白羽会長に聞かせてちょうだい。
Everyone voices their assent, and a warm fuzzy feeling fills my chest as I think how glad I am that Ika-san decided to run for vice president. True, very true. It's a good thing we have her here.
返却日は1週間後になります。
Even as I perform my library duties, the majority of my brain space has been colonized by a thick sludge of questions. So, can you repeat the entire time and read it, please? Yeah, no. I get it though. These are the three main events organized by the Council of... There are the three main events organized by the Council of Nikkei, and on top of that...
冬の草花についての本を探しているのだけれど。
はい。では、右奥の植物図鑑が置かれている棚に季節の花木の書物がありますが。
そうなの？ありがと
う。いえ、もしよろしければご一緒にお探ししましょうか。
I'm so busy that I haven't been able to find a spare moment to follow up on my latest lead.
大丈夫です。恐れ多い。
Oh.
はい。
After thanking me again, she hurries off toward the back of the library. Any part of my brain, the part still untouched by the sludge, worries I might have done something to offend her.
質問があるのですけれど、よろ
Now
しい
they're
ですか?
probably relishing in the fact that the esteemed student council president is also working in the library and thus relatively easily available to talk to. If you just go, I'm just gonna pretend I'm in search for a book so I can have her talk to me. Another upperclassman addresses me and I turn my smile on her. She's tall with her hair tied up like Ichigo-san, and for some reason her cheeks are flushed.
本当に妖精みたい。
She murmurs something to herself.
そういえば。
Something clicks in my brain and I take a good look around the room. The library doesn't usually get many visitors, but...
最近使用する人が多くなった気がする。
Looking over at the students filling the desk, I sluggishly wonder what's going on. They're here for you!
ようやく処置仲間の魅力に気づいたってことだろうな。
エリカが冗談を言うなんて珍しいね。
冗談半分、本気半分な具合だが。
いつものスオちゃんだと思うけど。です。
なるほど。お前らは色眼鏡なく見ているから気づけないってわけだ。なあ相棒。
何よ。
お前から見て白羽は変わったように見えるか？
そうね。なんというか、いつもの触れると壊れてしまいそうな繊細さがあまり感じないというか、すごく自然体でいるような。そう？私はそう思うのだけど。
そいつは半分正解で半分誤りだ。今の白羽は容量オーバーなんだよ。
それって。
理由は2階屋の貝絡みだろうが、余裕がないために緊張をする間もなく自然体のような体で対応している。だから今の白羽は
Okay.
私たちが感じているのと同じようにクラスメイトからも見えているというわ。
意味がわからないわ。
いつもは持ち前の内気な性格で臆病に振る舞っている。まあこれは他のやつからには大人の雰囲気とやらに変換されているのだろうが。
つまり今は余裕がないから それが繊細な雰囲気を消し去って親しみやすくなっているということ？正解。
そんなにスオちゃんって話しかけにくいかな。
Well, to be fair, Ichiko has never looked like she had a problem approaching literally anyone before, so she probably won't be able to see it.
美人で独特の雰囲気を持つやつってのは普通話しがたいものなんだよ。お前らは得な性格をしてるだけだ。
褒められた。ですね。
ですね。
褒めてない。理由は分かったけれど、それにしてもこの人気ぶりは異常だわ。八代先輩だよ。え？あの人と同じだ。白羽も八代先輩も図抜けた美人だ。だが八代先輩は学院の花で。容姿とか？八代先輩は中性的なハーフ美人で、白羽さんはしとやかな大和なでしこみたいな感じだし。容姿は関係ない。一定水準を超えるとあとは好き好きだからな。それじゃあ性格かしら？ま、そういうことだよ。どちらも寡黙で壁の花をしていたら話しかけにくいのは変わりない。どういうこと？まさかあの性格が作ったものだったっていうの？そうじゃない。警戒している相手にただニコリと微笑んであげりゃいいのさ。おとぎ話に出てくるような容姿の美人だ。八代先輩は自分の容姿が人に与える影響を知っていた。だから余計な緊張や疎外感を与えてしまう前に自分から相手の輪の中に入っていった。それが笑顔ってわけね。
そういえば確かにスオちゃんって他の人と話してることあまり見たことないかも。
Yeah.
自分からは話しかけてはいませんでしたね。
今も話しかけちゃいないが、触れれば崩れるような危うい雰囲気が失せている。だから話しかけやすく、それでいて容量オーバーだからてらいもなく話し返せる。まあ演劇の世界でもちょっと見ない美人だし、仲良くなりたい気持ちはわからないでもないわ。そして今は白羽を守る門番もいないからな。
エリカ。
それは
お前のことを言ってるんだぞ、委員長。おい。
The next person who's not listening.
ぼーっとしているとアミティエを取られちまうって話してたんだよ。
Oh my god.
スオさん。
Is anyone even listening
何？
anymore?
ちゃんと手綱を握っておけよ。お前以外のやつがさらっていくとか許さないからな。
何を言って。リッカさん。
Seeing Mami Teapot's raised voice, I look over to see her face looking flushed. For some reason, Irika-san and the others are all staring at me.
どうしたっていうの？
What's going on? I can't help but ask Rika-san directly when we eat lunch together. Something seems off with her. She doesn't seem to realize the question is directed at her. Or rather, she's so distracted that she may not have heard me at all.
まるで私みたい。
At least Sue is self-aware. She hasn't touched her tray of matsutake mushroom rice. Not that I have either. Chemical formulas. Focusing on my food, I take a bite from the bowl of rice. As the distinctive taste of matsutake mushroom spreads across my tongue, I feel as though a fog has lifted from before my eyes. With sudden clarity, I realize just how hungry I am and quickly dig into the rest. I can tell that the rice has the school's special stock added to it, in addition to the customary sake, soy sauce, and rice wine vinegar. It's a classic combo-based stock. They simmer the kelp at a medium heat, then add a pinch of bonito flakes and simmer again before straining the liquid. This little extra touch emphasizes the rich umami of the mushrooms, infusing the whole dish with a fragrant flavor. Blech. Mushrooms. In a little side bowl, there's a pat of grated green yuzu peel. A sprinkle of the citrusy peel halfway through the meal can change up the flavor so it stays interesting.
今思えば
Although we can choose our lunch from the menu, it's made using a limited range of ingredients. Still, the kitchen staff will sometimes indulge specific requests. My eyes meet the chef's across the room and she flashes me a smile. Today I asked for a personal recommendation and I realize now how thoughtful her choice was.
あの時話したことを覚えてくれていたのね。
Previously, Erika-san and I had chatted with the chef, who Erika-san seems to be on friendly terms with, about our favorite seasonal dishes. I mentioned that it was a shame I didn't get to eat this particular meal back in early autumn.
ねえ、リッカさん。え？せっかくのお料理だから味わって食べましょう。
When I smile encouragingly at her, she refocuses on a forgotten lunch and daintily uses her chopsticks to carry a bite to her lips.
おいしい。よかった。
We both smile at one another, then turn back to our food, truly savoring it. Erika-san would be proud.
何？
スオさん、最近変わったわよね。
No one's ever said that to me before. Surprised, I take a sip of clear broth and ask her curiously if that's really the case.
ええ、今まであまり表に出ることがなかったけれど、最近はみんなとも上手にお付き合いをされているし。
本当にそう思う？
ええ。
She nods earnestly. I've been so busy and overwhelmed that I've simply been trying to make it through each day as it comes.
みんなときちんと向き合えているなんて嬉しい。だって今でも話しかけるなんて恥ずかしくてなかなかできないもの。でもみんな話しかけてくれるようになって。
スオさんは今の方がいいの
Nika-san tucks on her braids, awaiting my answer.
そうね。
I take a sip of the clear broth that accompanies the dish as I think about her question.
確かにみんなと仲良くできるのは嬉しいわ。
そうよね。
でもエリカさんたちやイチゴさんたち、それに大切なアミティエとの時間が減ってしまうのは残念かも。ごめんなさい。ちょっとキザな言い方だったわね。
そんなことないわ。私も同じ意見だもの。
She leans forward and clasps my hands in hers, her palms soft and hot against my skin. I think to myself that she must be just as busy these days as I am. When I finished eating, I clench my fists, feeling like I've regained my vitality.
それじゃあイズニクへ戻りましょうか。みんなきっと遅いって待ってると思うわ。
そうね。
Nika-san flashes me her usual smile and I move to stack her tray with mine.
それじゃあ先に向かっていて。トレイを返し終わったらすぐに追うから。
私と一緒に。
調理師の方に一言お礼を言いたいの。
そう、わかったわ。
A shadow seems to eclipse her sunny smile like a forbidding coral reef revealed by a receding wave.
考えすぎだわ。
I pick up the trays and head toward the drop-off point.
私はスオーさんにとって必要なのかしら。
Oh no! Behind me, her quiet words are swallowed up by the buzz of conversation before they can reach my ears. Oh no. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. There. Bath next time. That's a good enough point to stop, I think. Yeah. Return, yes. We don't get the gallery until we finish at least one route, I'm assuming, or one ending. Thank you for the pet. Wow, that was, I feel like, the longest chapter 2 I've ever seen. Genuinely. Because it really took us almost 2 hours to even get to the mystery point. And now we just started chapter 3. The fun thing is, most of the choices you get to make in this game seem to be more towards the beginning of a chapter always. So I'm always just like, okay, well, we had our 4 choices that are available in this chapter, so I think, okay, well, that means the chapter has to be over sometime soon, and then it is not over sometime soon at all, because that's when the rest of the chapter for some reason takes like another full 3-4 hours. Chapter 2 be like, here's half the game. That's genuinely what it felt like, though. In my head I was like, okay, well, I have one more choice to make, and then it's the mystery. And then we did indeed get the one choice, sure, but then it was like 2 hours later, hi, here's the mystery solving screen. I don't know, because the mystery solving in and of itself is relatively quick at that point. But even getting there, because now we have chapter 3, which we have done the first 2 choices in chapter 3 already. There's 2 more choices for that chapter. Then there's 5 choices in chapter 4, and then there will be the next mystery in chapter 4. This one or chapter 1 and 8, one of these is the longest. Yeah, I would have to go back to it there and see how long it took us, but yeah, that one was long. You're right. And then there's chapter 5 and 6, and then in chapter 6 is also going to be the last mystery, and we have a bunch of saves there, so I can go through all of the endings. The yarn shop! Oh my god, I cannot believe it's soon going to be 2 years since we played the Yakuza Kiwami. That's crazy. Yeah. Because what I'm going to be doing is we're going for a specific end first playthrough, and then also I'm going to just collect the bad ends. The bad ends you get by just getting the mysteries wrong. I'm just going to do those off screen, because most of the time they don't have a lot. There's just like, oh, well, you go and talk to the person you're calling out, whatever, but you do it wrong, and you just get a few 1 or 2 liners about how wrong that was. Also, thank you. Yeah. Strap-on quote, here we go. And then we're going to do another playthrough for the good ending, which is just basically just going to go through it all on skip mode and everything until a specific save there, and then once more just to get on the other route. And once we've unlocked that route, we will be able to go for the grand finale, where we will go back to the save from the good route, that kind of thing, blah blah blah. I'm just saying what it says here in the guide, because we've never had this problem before of not having I'm saying many times. We've never had the problem of not having everything unlocked beforehand, but usually for the Flowers games it's like, okay, well, you need to collect this and that ending to actually unlock the true proper ending, blah blah blah. It's just because I had played all of the other games beforehand. The game had all of that unlocked already, so I could choose every single thing we needed to get to the true ending. But because we're playing this game for the first time, and I'm actually playing it for the first time as well, we have to do it the long way round. Which makes sense. I already thought, yeah, good, that's a good one. I did think. I already thought. I sure did. I sure did. I thought long and hard, and what I got from all that thinking is that I am tired and I cannot properly say anything anymore, which is to absolutely no one's surprise, but I will post a schedule in a bit. We're going to do pretty much the same thing as this week, except I hope to actually play at the Unity and Solal next Saturday and not be so fucking tired from all the attic work we're doing, because it's still a bunch of work and it's still gonna take us a bunch of weeks, if not months, to complete that. So Saturday streams are always a little but yeah, we're gonna see how that's gonna go. We'll probably continue this game on Tuesday. I think I'm gonna make it a Tuesday stream, so it's not going to be a long break. But yeah, that is going to be it for tonight. Let me quickly switch over to the ending song. There it is. I'm gonna send you guys over to Leary because it's Sunday and we like going over to Leary's, especially when she's playing murder mystery games. Because I like murder mystery games. Here's the right message. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you so much for coming back. I'll see you very soon. Good night. And bye-bye. This beam was quite special. Yes, the specialist of beams.